taught me love was not for everybody. However, I'm starting to see this world in the right light, yet it still gets darker. You see, it's just a simple symphony or a painting, whatever. It's a natural path that spans infinitely, but my world is crumbling. Let it collapse into the abyss. In the midst of summer it won't exist. This emptiness, it's just a blank slate, waiting for a painter to interfere. It's quite complex, but what I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grid broadcast on twitch.tv/Knights. This is the action for the Knights. This is everything will be happening here. This is your home for the next little while, and hopefully for a long while as we see the Knights travel through week 3 of the Grid. I'm Leaf alongside Lethamyr. Lethamyr, how are you doing this week?
Good, how are you? Great to be back. We got week number 3. I'm very excited to see how they improved over the last week of preparation. We've got quite an intense match to start it off, if you didn't notice the bracket there in chat for you guys. And on Jinx TV, I believe it's Space Station again.
I mean, we may as well take a look at this now early in case you guys were wondering. So let's just jump into the bracket and just see what they have ahead of them. So for you guys out there who are a little uninformed for some odd reason, Pittsburgh Knights roster sitting is Rodoko, Kinsey, and ZPS, and McLando sitting as their coach. They're, again, as you said, it's not going to be an easy route. They've always had an easy route, but that's of course what happens when you don't win your matches the last week. So Space Station Gaming is their first matchup, and this is not an easy route. Space Station Gaming has continued to perform in the Grid. They've continued to get into those final rounds, and I think they've made it to Grands both now times. Correct, Leth?
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, it's tough to say because you've got these ridiculous teams you're going up against, and last week, if you guys watched on our broadcast, we had version 1 being taking us down to the lower bracket, and then Energy, of course, in that lower bracket as well. But at the same time, the Knights did bring it to Game 5 in both those series. Very difficult games to play, but like we said in the Grid, there's no easy matches for sure. So no matter what you go up against, you're gonna have to bring your A game.
And again, just looking at the rest of the bracket, everyone else in there is Alpine Esports, XSET, Rogue, Peeps, SONIQS, Charlotte, Phoenix are sitting in that bracket. I was doing a bit of an early prediction on my stream just before, or on Squad stream actually. Squad, by the way, is also on Jinx, so make sure you watch that when we get back to it. But yeah, I was making some predictions before about how this bracket is going to go. And it was an easy route for the Knights. You look at the kind of the top picks realistically that was going to make it through, like, just from past expectations, who's going to make it through would be, Space Station, obviously grand finals 2 in a row. You expect them to perform again. And then Rogue obviously is on the other side of the bracket, a team that has consistently performed ever since they brought in Turo. Throwing Turo onto that roster, it's allowed First Killer kind of unleash on the front there. But then you also have Alpine, who's been stepping it up huge, Lethamyr. The SONIQS lately have been doing a lot better than they were before. And Charlotte Phoenix looking like they're finally breaking those curses. I mean, they made it to stage number 2 in the RLCS. And of course, they're going to be looking to continue to prove that, because the story for them has always kind of been heartbreak, right? But they've been stepping it up. XSET is the one I'm looking at in this bracket to really start making changes. I feel like they've been underwhelming, even though they have that potential. They've been underwhelming a lot.
It's funny you mentioned them, actually, because I was just going to say that, the Knights, even though they have a tough opponent here, they should be looking forward as well to the next match, because I feel like they would be pretty comfortable and confident moving into Alpine or XSET, having a good chance at moving into the qualified zone. So it's really like, really push for this win against Space Station, because I would bet that they feel more confident going into the qualification if they can get through that first round.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. Either way, whether they win or lose in this first round against Space Station Gaming, they're going to have to play either Alpine or XSET, as that's how the lower bracket ends up going, is you stay kind of with your group during the beginning here, and it switches into the lower round 2. So they would end up having to then play one of the teams that lose in the semifinals of upper, that's Rogue, Peeps, SONIQS, or Charlotte Phoenix. So my predictions there is Rogue's pushing through and Peeps will end up in the lower bracket on the other side. So either SONIQS or Charlotte Phoenix is likely going to be one of their opponents, just based off my early predictions here. So for Pittsburgh Knights, honestly, this seems like a very doable thing. I like the energy in chat right now. We got PK, aka future RLCSX winner. Well, they got to go through the Grid first. And again, even if they lose to Space Station here, I do feel like that lower bracket run is 100% doable from what we've seen from the Knights coming out of week number 1 and week number 2, if they end up having to play XSET and either SONIQS or Charlotte Phoenix.
Yeah, so I feel like they've got at least 3 games in them this week to push into that lower round 2 if they don't make it through Space Station, and then it's just one match to qualify and to get into the main event.
Yeah.
So really good chance this week. like you said. Even though they are facing one of the toughest opponents in the league, considering they are number one, I believe, in the grid right now for North America from those 2 wins or 2 finalist locations. But moving into Alpine or XSET, expecting that one of those players one of those teams to always be matched up here because of how the bracket works. Which team do you feel would be a better matchup for the Knights to move in through this bracket?
Better matchup for the Knights in the lower there. I mean, again, I'd rather see them face XSET, and then probably, honestly, Charlotte Phoenix. I feel like they can capitalize on a lot of that. They, again, looking at last week, and we'll dive into this in a second here, but looking at last week, they started picking up that speed a lot, and I feel like that's something they can shut down Charlotte Phoenix for. I feel like SONIQS would try to match them with a lot of that speed, whereas Charlotte Phoenix, I think, if pressured, might back off and start to hesitate. Actually, I was going to mention this on the RLCS too, but I'll mention it here as well. Talking to Karma on her stream, she said hesitation is a thing that she's working on a lot right now, hesitating rather than going. So if that's not something that she's fully confident in yet, this is going to be a potential. Like, I'd rather that matchup for the Knights because they can capitalize on that.
Right, they're working on a change and bringing in Dapper since last month. He's been on that roster for about a month and a week. They're still probably working on the kinks. I believe, I don't know how young is this Knights squad. I know they've been recently picked up, obviously, by the Knights, but they've been together for quite a while before that. I believe they've been pushing to be one of those teams that are contending in the league. So it's exciting to see, this team finally have an org to back them up. But I don't know how long have they been together. Do you know?
This squad of the previous Valence?
Yes, yeah, Valence.
This is a good question. We can actually probably look that up right now if we click on one of their names.
Yeah.
It's not been like a ridiculous amount of time, but it's so it looks like they've started in as Valence in 2020-06-01, which would be June 6th of this year. Yeah, so fairly yeah. So it's not the longest of rosters. I remember Radoka was bouncing around before as well on different rosters, right? So yeah, so it's definitely not, you wonder, are they still on a honeymoon phase? But to me, it feels like they're a team that's actually actively working on stuff right now. Like, this isn't a team that is just riding the wave right now. It's a team that's figured that out. They've gotten it, and now they've found out, okay, what things we need to work on, which is a good sign that they're already this promising while they're in that phase after, that honeymoon.
Yeah, so a lot of new teams in this league as well. Not just Knights. So it's exciting to see these teams kind of mix it up. I believe this is one of the biggest roster shuffles we've ever seen, and some big moves as well, moving into RLCS Season X. So a lot of exciting stuff, and the grid is 9 weeks long, I believe. So a lot of matches to come through. Hopefully, the Knights can start to get into those qualification rounds and get a few more points on the board. I believe. Do you not get any points unless you're qualified? I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure. There's so many formats.
For the grid?
Yeah, for the grid. I believe you only get points if you're qualified.
For the final bracket each week?
Yeah.
No. So even 13th to 16th gets 10 points.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's not a lot of points, but they've still been gathering points. And they've still been. So I could actually take a look here where they sit. So they currently are tied for 14th. With Charlotte Phoenix and the Peeps sitting at 40 points apiece here. And the highest right now is Space Station Gaming with 351, obviously. Making it to two grand finals are going to get you a lot of points here. So it's a big journey, but we're only heading into week number 3. There are a lot of weeks ahead of us, right? And just a reminder that first place spot in the grid is a guaranteed spot to the Fall Splits Major for the RLCS. So there is something on the line here, but even if not that, this is great practice. As we've said before, it basically replaces your scrims. You get to play a lot of good teams, and there's prize money on the line. So that's another thing. Weekly $10,000 is not too bad to try to get your hands on too. But the biggest thing here is, especially for the Knights, is it's a roster that's building. It's a roster that's growing. This is a good experience gainer for them. But before we talk about the Knights any further, I do got to remind you guys about a giveaway that's happening on Twitter right now. If you head over to twitter.com/KnightsGG, you can enter this giveaway here. Every stream, we're giving away a HyperX package, so make sure you guys are here every single week to find out who the winner is. But to enter, make sure you guys are on Twitter. Retweet, follow, tag a friend. And then the giveaway will be at the end of match number 2. Every week, I know Simon in chat's not happy with me saying this right now because he really wants to win this, but don't worry, Simon. Every week we got one of these, so make sure you're entering every single week.
I tried to link it.
Oh, did you get kicked?
My link got destroyed, so
you got wrecked.
I tried to drop it in the chat there, but yeah, there's a link. There is a giveaway on the Knights Twitter for the HyperX giveaway. A lot of exciting stuff. I'm excited to see who wins that because it's always good to see a gamer who really needs the new electronics to step up their game, because this is some good stuff. I have a lot of HyperX. I'm wearing the glasses right now, actually.
Oh yeah.
yeah, the blue light filters. So
yeah,
it's cool to see.
Like, yeah, no, that's good gear for sure. You definitely want to get your hands on that. So make sure. Again, you guys are entering that every single week. So again, as I said, we'll be announcing the winner at the end of match number 2. And then, of course, the Knights will reach out to whoever wins that one. So get on over there, twitter.com/KnightsGG to enter that one. But let's get back to talking about what we're about to see today. So just a reminder, guys, this is the grid. We have 9 weeks. Every week is isolated, but the points you win carry over throughout the 9 weeks to find out who's first and if you get an auto qual into that major. But this is a double elimination right now. We got 4 groups. 2 groups A and B are matched together. Group C and D are matched together, and we are in Group C and D. And the first matchup is Space Station Gaming versus the Pittsburgh Knights. Space Station Gaming, obviously one of the toughest opponents right now on the field. So for the Knights, let's take it back to week 1 and week 2, Leth, and look back at what we saw from this team, because week 1 to week 2 was definitely a transformation in what the team was trying. I felt like how they approached their play style changed quite a bit coming into week number 2. So what was it? Let's walk through that. What were we seeing in week number 1 from these guys?
Also, in week 1, we saw the exact same matchup we have here in the first game, Space Station versus Pittsburgh Knights, and I would say that they held up a pretty good fight against the Space Station squad 2 weeks ago. Space Station did ultimately win that series 3-1, but as we know from the Knights so far, they're always 1-goal games, or very rarely they have 2 or 3-goal games, but to be so close in all these matches is really good to see. Hopefully this week they can pull it in their favor against Space Station. But they obviously moved down to the bracket in the first week and then face off Alpine. So once again, we have 2 matchups that are potentially happening this week as well. So a lot to reflect upon for Pittsburgh Knights. They do 3-0 Alpine moving into the next bracket on the lower round on week 1. And then ultimately lost 3-0 to E United with Wanda Mike on that new squad. So first week, back and forth, once again, 1-goal games, but it seemed a bit weak on the end of the Knights. Moving into week 2, though, we had a lot of improvements in the rotation. On defense especially, I would say the team definitely worked on some of those errors and kept the ball safe. You saw a lot of control plays and a lot of controlling the pace of the game as well. So, going into week number 2, they faced off, like we said, version 1, held up a good fight, but ultimately lost 3-2 in that game number 5. And then, to face off Energy, who is also a winner of one of the weeks of the... Wait, no, are they winner of the grid? Or was that was G2?
No, yeah, it was G2. Yeah,
it was G2, yeah, that's right. But also, G2 faced off against Energy just previously before facing off Pittsburgh Knights, so a great warm-up round for them as well. So, unfortunately, 2 losses in a row for week 2, but we're looking at a good streak here for week number 3, I'm hoping.
I think this is the thing you kind of nailed in your head. TLDR, we saw a bit of hesitation, timidness from week 1. They played a lot of defense, and then but kept the games close. And then once they took control of the field in week number 2, we started seeing them go up even against the likes of, again, as you mentioned, NRG, which is not an easy feat whatsoever. This is and version 1 as well. These are experienced RLCS veterans that have been playing at top level for the longest times, and to go to game 5 against both of those teams is an incredible outcome is the word I'm looking for.
It was literally the Energy and Cloud9 rosters mixed up.
Right. And then he's going to game 5.
That's basically what it was. Yeah, it's pretty good showing for them, even though they did lose both game 5s. It's unfortunate to see, but I'm sure they're hungry for a win this week.
Well, that's the thing. Now that we look at this week, as we get about 5 minutes away from the team starting to get down on a field, let's talk about the matchup that we're going to see here. Let's talk about Space Station Gaming, because this is, again, a roster that's been around for a bit, but there was a bit of a change, and now we've seen Reddles jump onto that team. AXB was their previous third, but Reddles jumped in, and there was question marks on that roster at the beginning whether that would work or not, but it seems to be working. I mean, they made it to grand finals twice, won one of them, and they're looking to do it again, but hopefully, again, our Knights will stand in their way. We've seen the Knights go up to Game 5 against, again, version 1, NRG. Question is this going to be a similar story here? Because I feel like Space Station Gaming plays a little bit different now that they have kind of that full aggro team when Typical, Arsenal, and Reddles, as opposed to NRG.
Talk about that, actually. Yeah. You said full aggro, and I feel like sorry, I don't know if my camera just went off there, but my other computer just decided to go to sleep. But you know, Space Station bringing on Reddles, there's no hesitation with him. I think that's what it is. You know, AXB being that solid anchor for a team, I feel like he's a little more hesitant to go for a play and be that more defensive player. I think now Arsenal and Typical, they just let him run the field, Reddles run the field, basically. Which may change the playstyle a little bit of Arsenal and Typical, but it balances that team of their offensive-oriented play instead of a more well-rounded. And maybe Arsenal and Typical don't want to be that. I know Arsenal doesn't want to probably slow down the gameplay. I think he likes to keep the pace up whenever I play with him. He just likes to move around the field, and you kind of just meld into that style of running around the rotation. So I think that's probably why it's working a little better. It's not to say that AXB is discredited at all for what he does for a team. But it's more about the fact that Typical and Arsenal are more comfortable with that rotation. So moving into this match against a really offensive-heavy team, we need to see better control of their backboard and better control of midfield. When there's a player in midfield lurking on the Space Station half, we want to see somebody pushing out on that rotation and catch someone off guard behind them, or bump them right before they're about to aerial or something like that. So a lot of offensive. We saw them get a little more aggressive with the bumps and stuff in week 2 compared to week 1, and we can see how well that worked for them.
I think you nailed it too, especially with that backboard. I mean, like, that's something that I think we even saw in week number 1 that was causing them to be on defense a lot more. Is that once in week number 2 they started focusing on that a bit better, you get a bit more control. You have chances for those clears. I mean, what you can do off that backboard for even just a clear is incredible now. If you can get that right touch, you can clear it right down to the other end of the field from that backboard. So that can relieve a lot of pressure. So you're absolutely right. That's something against Space Station you need to watch, especially with Typical and Arsenal. Players that like to be up in the air, players that like to do crazy things. You've seen what Arsenal can do. If he's got an opportunity for a musty double tap, he's going to go for that musty double tap. And he's probably going to hit it as well. So you need to make sure those opportunities aren't even there for Space Station Gaming. And I think one of those first steps is just being a threat on the backboard, because you force that team to recognize that you're there, you're present, and they need to go for another option. And even forcing them for even a second to think about what their approach is going to be can give you that opportunity to take control, move down the field. And now I wonder, when it comes to G2, or sorry, to Space Station, if you feel like it's almost similar to G2, where they can be on offense so much that they might end up giving up some of that midfield and allowing a ball to kind of roll past, to be long shot, to be cleared. And you even talked about the cherry pick there as well. Is that something, like, I feel like it's not exactly the same, but it's getting pretty close to what G2 is like?
It's interesting that you say that, because I feel like if I was to describe how Rocket League works, it's very interesting. You think about back when the game first started. Let's have a ball bounce off the sidewall, right? The ball bounces off to the sidewall and comes into mid. Probably players would have let the ball hit the sidewall and come back to mid, right? So you would just let it come back and hit a half volley. Now we move into Season 2 or Season 3 of Rocket League. Now it's like, okay, someone's going to wait for the mid ball, so let's jump a little bit earlier and go towards the wall and try to catch it earlier. And then we get to the point where people are starting to think, oh, people are going to go earlier, so let's just wait for the ball to spill in mid. And it keeps going back. It's cyclical almost. Like you see people up on the backboard making high clears because people are pushing up more on the field. And then we'll get into more of a style where people start to boom the ball a lot more, so now people are sitting further back, and now it's smarter to catch the ball. So that's where the situational play comes into Rocket League, where you have this sort of cyclic nature where people might boom the ball on a regular basis, so people are pushed out and overcommitted. But now we have players sitting further back trying to collect those balls So you really just need to get a read on the players and the team's rotation at the time. So that's kind of where we're at now. It's a free, fluid motion of decision making and quick action, and basically moving your players around in a way that you can be the most advantageous position and make the best decision possible.
Well, we're almost there and almost ready to get this first match for Knights underway, but I do want to re-mention here, thank you guys for joining us as well on twitch.tv/Knights. And also shout out to anybody that will be joining us now on Jinx TV. You guys probably didn't hear before, but we do have a giveaway on Twitter, twitter.com/KnightsGG. If you go on and win some HyperX swag, you can get on there. Make sure you like, I don't know if you need to like, but you should probably like it anyways. Retweet, follow, and tag a friend in that tweet. And you guys can win some sick HyperX gear. And we will be announcing a winner of that after the second match. So again, if you're watching on Jinx TV on your television, pull up your phone or your laptop or whatever you got there and hop on to Twitter and get into that giveaway. We'll be doing this once a week. We have 9 weeks of the grid. We're in week number 3 right now. We've already seen 2 weeks, obviously, the week before and last week. That's how time works. And we'll be doing giveaways for the next weeks going forward. So make sure you guys get in that. You do not want to miss out on your chance to win some HyperX gear. And once you've done that, come on back to either twitch.tv/Knights. It's a place to be, or continue watching on Jinx. So we just welcome everybody. Thank you guys for supporting the Knights. We're talking about their first matchup here. It's Space Station Gaming. They're almost ready to get on the field here. So we're going to continue trying to break down what we're going to see from these teams. Again, the Knights is a team that's looking to start making some statements. We've already seen from week number 1 to week number 2, having just growth already, Lethamyr. And now that we've talked about Space Station and their opponents, what we expect from them, what are we going to look to see from the Knights going forward? What would you like to see based off last week? What are the things you'd like to see continue or maybe change coming into week number 3 to get some results?
Right, so they have really good offense. Like we talked about this before. Their offense is definitely where they shine. But is it worth sacrificing a bit of offense to have a better defensive line? I feel like it is. We keep seeing these one-goal games because their offense is so heavy that they get really good chances, but then they also throw away a lot of their goals as well. So to have so many openings might be an issue. I feel like to maybe draw back the offense a little bit and maybe make midfield passes that are a little bit further up, like further in the middle of the field rather than close to the net. Decided to do. Obviously, Michelando's going to be chatting them up and making sure they know what they're going to be doing next and making the right plays, especially because they're sitting in the game, I believe, so they can have a live experience of where the players are communicating and what they need to do next to make that next goal happen. But at the same time, I just feel like it's on their defensive side to stop these games from being so close. If they can hold the back line and sort of rotate a little bit quicker, maybe cherry picking a little bit too much. I know that CPS likes to do that a lot and try to push out and catch the players off guard. But especially with Space Station, they're so fast and so fast paced around the field that you're gonna be caught off guard a lot if you try for those cherry picking positions.
And you got some fancy magic going on right now. I don't know how you're separate. Like, you need to move into this. Stop making maps. You need to work in the ventriloquist business.
Oh no, you're talking about that again.
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned that, because actually I finally just got standard drop shot working, which is really, really exciting. So that'll be next week. I know you're talking about Fall Guys, of course, but yeah, Fall Guys is a whole other thing. I'm actually curious because Fall Guys is doing all their brand stuff right now, and they got this whole charity event going. They haven't mentioned at all about this Rocket League thing, so I'm curious if they like what I'm doing, or if they or if they're like, stop messing with our game. But we'll see. We'll see what they say.
These maps are looking sick, but that's something we'll talk about another time. As the players are almost ready to get down on the field here, I'm not sure if they're going to warm up first, but again, wherever you're joining us from, thank you guys for waiting for us to get these players on the field. We're here talking about the Knights. This is the broadcast for the Knights. This is the best place to be in this matchup. Get out of that Space Station broadcast. Just get out of there. Come according to inside information, the Space Station players were just gone at one point. Like, what is this? This disrespect. Now we're going to shut them down. The Knights are heading onto the field. Game number 1 of this best of 5 to try to take down the Space Station Gaming.
Typical with an early goal as well. Great pass out by Reddles, popping it over 2. Great air dribble, and then Arsenal to pop it across. All 3 players involved in a quick play. Unfortunately, the Knights could not catch up. They were playing catch up there on the backboard, but couldn't make it. And that's what we were talking about before, is that backboard defense. You got to make sure we're covering those options.
Now Space Station Gaming in the blue are up 2 goals. Okay, this is not a good... I tried to talk some smack about Space Station.
You can't. You just can't. Yeah, I'm not really sure what just happened on the back end there. His DPS in the back corner wasn't able to make it back, but it's looking rough so far for the Knights in game 1. Space Station holding a very heavy offense in the first 20 seconds. They've got to start something here. A great pop in mid. Great 3-man commit, but unfortunately ZPS couldn't get the shot. Once again, we're seeing ZPS on the Octane. We saw him in week 1 go to the Dominus, but then in week 2 switch to the Octane. So he's, I guess, feeling confident sticking with his car. I would say that switching from Dominus to Octane is a huge difference. Obviously, Octane hitboxes don't really matter if you switch to those, but like Fennec and Octane, I don't believe they're that much of a difference. But the way you play is a huge change when you switch to a flatter car.
I can't dribble on the flatter cars, man. I tried Batmobile for the longest time.
You gotta practice on my dribbling challenges.
Look at you literally have everything.
Yeah, there you go.
Next thing is gonna be like, man, it's gonna be like, man, I'm tired. Hey, well, you can check out this Lethamyr branded coffee.
There you go.
Like, he's gonna have a product everywhere.
I
got a solution for you.
What a big clear by Space Station. Caught off by Rodoko. Now we're seeing a bit of open ball play. 2 players committed by the Knights once again. So we got to see a little bit of players not committing too many players to the space used by Space Station in the midfield. I mean, I guess that's why they're called Space Station, huh? I mean, you have had your fair share of dad jokes. I feel like I can have 1 or 2
you're allowed
in there.
1 or 2, I suppose. But again, 2 goals in the lead right now. Space Station still struggling to pull this one back. They're starting to hold off now against any of this onslaught, but we've got to be real. This is an onslaught right now.
We have a chance for the Knights, popping the ball a little bit too far, but there's a chance in mid. Missed chance. As we see a late 50-50 going in favor of Space Station. Awkward ball in the corner, touched by, I believe that was Kinsei in the final touch there to clear that. Good chances for Space Station, but the Knights are holding the fort here on the back end.
The issue is holding the back end isn't going to get you any goals, and the Knights need 2 of those to bring it back with 2 minutes left. They haven't had many opportunities, in all honesty. It seems like Reddles is just all over the field. We talked about Reddles' aggression early on in this, but it's his teammates that are putting away the goals after goal. 3rd goal in right now. And I think those clears just need to be a little more in control from the Knights.
Yeah, so 3-0. It's a rough situation for the Knights having 2 minutes left. 3 minutes have passed in this game and 1 goal per minute. So to push back on Space Station's aggressive offense is going to be something very, very difficult. It was a great shot to start. Cynical getting a nice clear. These peppered shots aren't really going to do much for the Knights. They need to make sure they set up a midfield to start really pushing those Space Station players off of the defensive line instead of giving them free clears and collections in mid. A good chance there from Kinsei getting a pop in mid. Now we're starting to see that offense start to line up. Bit of an early commit gives Arsenal a chance for a shot. Snipes at far right corner, but ZPS gets a great clear to the left side.
Again, the story of this is looking a bit more like we saw in week number 1 defense, and when we knew this would be hard, we knew that aggression would come out, but it is definitely mounting. And for a team like this, like when you're playing against a team like Space Station Gaming that comes out with so much aggression, they catch you off guard, you're already behind by so many goals. What are you looking to adjust in game number 1, if anything? Or are you just looking to at least make it out of game number 1 and then focus afterwards?
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this like quite a bit in the last few broadcasts that, you know, when you're down this many goals, it's so difficult nowadays to get the goals back just because teams are so consistent at the top level. You know, sometimes people consider one goal and it's like, oh, the game might be over. So to be down 4 goals against one of the considered best teams in the league right now, it's not looking good for the Knights. So I would say to move on to the next game is probably your best goal. They seem a bit lost in midfield at the moment, and they really need to start chalking up that offense properly instead of just throwing the ball down the field towards Space Station players.
Yeah, this was something I mentioned too before when they got scored on. One of them is one of those clears was just straight into the hands of a Space Station player, and it resulted in a goal. So that's also a little rough here. I don't know what's going on here.
There was probably 5 cars in one location there, so that was pretty close chance for Space Station once again. But you know, the Knights are probably looking to hold this off at the last 10 seconds of the game and change up their game plan moving into the next match with a little more offensive heavy. Their defense has been looking okay, but at the same time, there were a lot of early mistakes that led to that big goal differential.
Yeah, this is not the start you want, but it's also not a start that isn't fully unexpected. I mean, again, Space Station Gaming, I'll remind you guys out there, is a team that made it into the grand finals 2 weeks in a row now, week number 1 and week number 2, and they won one of them. So this is the team that's got experience being able to run through this bracket. And the Knights, again, a team that's still up and coming on the rise and still building. This is good experience for them as well. But coming into game number 2 here, they're definitely going to want to make some changes. You don't want a result like this. A 3-0 maybe, but at least keep the games close. So for the Pittsburgh Knights, I think the biggest thing, we talked about it near the end of the game there, is those clears. A lot of that needs to be handled better or kept in control. And I felt like they were just lagging a bit behind some of the touches from Space Station. So maybe hard reads are going to be the solution to game number 2.
And we saw that work against Space Station in the first week. A few hard reads made it actually really, really difficult for good clears for Space Station. I think they like to be very, very consistent with their offensive pressure like we talked about. So you can see right here, just like a quick change up in pressure from Arsenal's touch forces out a few players. And you see they're just playing keep away, popping it around. So the Knights need to be careful of that.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place right now. Really need to clean up the back end. And, you know, they soaked up a lot of pressure the last game, but that's not going to win you games like you talked about. So we're going to see if they can pull it back. But Space Station is just looking on fire right now, unfortunately, for the Knights.
Find out if the Knights can get some answers here. Rodoko tries for a double tap, but it's stopped on that backboard by Reynolds. He hangs out there a little bit longer. Oh! This one actually is going to bounce in. They had all the defenders there. Space Station Gaming was ready for the play. But Kinsey gets a 50, and it just bounce shots right over that last defender, and neither one of them can get a hold of it.
And that first touch was still super important. The way he caught it, it was a half volley, but it didn't boom up too high. It kept it at a pace where Arsenal was baited into a challenge. A great 50-50. It was bounced 3 or 4 times off 2 cars. It's super hard for the Space Station defense to read. Ends up going in favor of the Knights. That's good to see so far in Game 2. A way better scoreline. At this point, we were already down 0-2. And possibly 0-3, I believe, in the first minute or so. There was quite an explosive start for Space Station.
This is what we like to see, though. Getting on the board, they were shut out in game number 1. We bring it back here. A bit of miscommunication on defense here, and that's going to give Sipical a chance to just solo this one in here. You saw 2 defenders from the Knights popping out. Rodoko maybe thinking that was his. Kinsey putting that straight out to Sipical, and you got to watch that possession control.
Yeah, it's been really messy. There's a lot of double commit. Looks like communication needs to improve a little bit. You know, push up on that comms to tell your teammates way ahead of time what you're planning on doing. What Space Station will do a lot of the time is force teams into feeling that they have to rush when they really don't. Like in this situation right here.
Yeah.
If this touch is just going to go back down to Sipical because you challenged. So a lot of the times we just need to wait for the players to be committed. As you see Reynolds and them just like keep plopping the players out of the play, and then they start to mount their attack.
Yeah, they're not forcing anything, just taking their time, and you think that you got to go fast, so you do, but then They just kind of drive into the ball and it goes past you. So maybe taking a breath, taking a step back might help. Reynolds with a double tap off the backboard. This is, again, not the worst, but this is still giving up a lot of that space.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they'll use the space when they have it, Space Station. So you don't want to give it to them, but at the same time, you don't want to rush and use too many players. That's what they like to see: space on the field and players overcommitted. Obviously, most teams would appreciate that, but they just do such a good job of efficiently creating that opportunity for them on offense. You can see just a quick pop, and then Typical takes the player out. ZPS trying to make a defensive touch, but in a tough situation here, as it goes mid for a player. Burrows with a weak shot will give Rodoko space to clear the ball. Such quick offense from Space Station. Nice bump by Kinsey. Giving the ball to the corner does Rodoko. We'll see Riddles take the ball up the corner. Riddles on the backboard. Clears it down to Arsenal, keeping the ball possession. Multiple 50-50. Rodoko, small ball play in the corner. Riddles missing that opportunity, so now there's space in the midfield. Cut off by ZPS, or Kinsey, I believe it's Kinsey. Another great touch by Kinsey in the corner. No space, decides to go for the late 50-50. Lots of players bunched up in the corner here, but finally have a chance for Kinsey to break the ball out. And with that 1v1 prowess, oh sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, all it took was, you know, just a little bit of breathing there. I mentioned a second ago, take a breath. Slow it down. Instead of Kinsey just banging that one out, he didn't have boots. Brought it back, let a teammate take control, and eventually they were able to move it down the other end of the field. So I think, again, just a couple more breaths for the Knights. Get to their same pace as Space Station Gaming. And you should be able to keep this one even. And with 2 minutes left, they're still in 2. This is a bit for anybody wondering. With Space Station taking game number 1. And they can keep this one close still.
If you watch Space Station, they really don't do anything too crazy. They're not playing. They're not playing, you know, for mechanics or like they pull it out once in a while. But if you watch how they play, they really just play for consistency, and use that space efficiently. Whenever they have an option to back off and find a better play with the ball, they go for it.
Well, this is the dangerous thing about them, as well as that they can play simple, slow, let you make mistakes and punish, and at that last second they can pull out a crazy mechanic. We've seen Typical already do it a few times. We mentioned it in the pre-show there about Arsenal being able to do those musty doubles. So knowing that that's something that they can do at any point makes Space Station very versatile and a very tough opponent, which is why you see this not being an easy match. But again, getting a goal on the board feels good. Making sure you're not shut out 2 games in a row and trying to make that climb back. Reverse sweep is still potential.
Yeah, there's always a chance for a reverse sweep, especially with how close Knights have always been in games. This is actually the first time we've seen 2 matches in a row where there's been a 2-goal differential, so I'm hoping that the Knights can start to recognize that there's a lot more space in the field. We don't need to rush as much of the play as we have been. We see a miss at the corner there by Rodoko, but a pass back by Kinsey and a bit of a bump.
A pass down there from Typical. Not going to be a play. 6 seconds left. Again, maybe 1 goal. One thing I did start to see, though, in game number 2 here. Hey, we'll take that. Hey, 1 goal difference.
And there's the of course they jinxed me saying I just said there's 2 games in a row with a 2-goal differential, and they score in the last second. That's a great stop by ZPS to shoot to the far left side. So
wait, if you have this power, you need to start doing this a bit more.
Yeah, I gotta just say they're gonna win. They're gonna win every game. So here we go. We're gonna see a quick reverse sweep by the Knights. I'm excited to see it.
Lethamyr, you have the power.
I do have I mean, the casting power is there. You have the power to control it. Unfortunately for us, though, we do have Johnny Boy casting for Space Station on the opposite side, so he could fight us here.
We just need to yell louder.
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Boy doesn't yell. He's just like he's got like a peak energy level potential. I think he'll always just sound all sexy with his accent. But
okay,
our energy levels, Lethamyr.
I think Brody has a bit of a crush on Johnny Boy.
No, it was like a slight insult actually.
Okay, I see. You're trying to be a little Okay, never mind. We're gonna move on to the series here. We got 2-0 for Space Station so far, but this is the best of 5. They're on match point. The Knights were looking for a quick reverse sweep. Nice and clean. That game definitely looked better than game 1, but the pressure was a little bit more even. So that's good to see. Definitely still need to clean up that defense. Quick touches that are popping it back to the Space Station players is going to put them in really difficult situations moving forward. So we got to see a bit of a cleanup on defense.
Well, coming to game number 3, the first 2 went to Space Station Game. The Knights bringing it to a 1-goal difference. Game number 2. Looking to clean up those double commits. They have brought the pace down. They're not committing to things that are unnecessary. They're making sure they can stay as grounded as possible to be able to regain control, recover if need be, because again, they know that deadly potential of mechanics like this, but also the pace shifting of slowing things down at Space Station Gaming. So with that in mind, game number 3 gets underway, and the Knights looking to capitalize on this knowledge and try to get that first early goal as they hold off an attack here from Space Station Gaming.
Finally a bit of an opening here. Battles does challenge quite early. Now we see all 3 players of Space Station being pretty aggressive. And after that demo, you can see Typical doesn't want to challenge too early and put himself in a 1v3 situation on his team. Bit of an open ball in the midfield, cleared by Reddles. Back in midfield by Rodoko. Chance to get a dunk. Doesn't quite win it. And Arsenal goes for the high touch. So now a chance in midfield There it is. A great shot by ZPS. Base out Reddles late on that 50-50 chance. And ZPS makes a great catch in midfield. That's a really good touch to keep the ball close.
And there it is. Space Station Gaming conceding the first goal to Pittsburgh Knights in game number 3. The start we wanted to see as the Knights mount back the attack with this knowledge they've gained before. Maybe a chance here. That's out center. A shot on. Kinsey with another goal. 2-goal lead for the Pittsburgh Knights. Space Station Gaming starting to find a struggle.
We're going to mount that comeback as well for the Knights. This is the first time we've seen them have a goal lead in the series, and now they even have a 2-goal lead. This is a great chance for them to start mounting that comeback, like I said. So, yeah, maybe my caster curse is something that could be used in a positive way here.
I told you, we just got to bring the energy up, and we're good. Johnny Boy ain't got nothing on us. The Knights up 2 goals to Space Station Gaming. 3.5 minutes left is a lot of time for Space Station Gaming to try to fight this one back, but the Knights, through game number 1 and number 2 and number 3, they finally find themselves in the lead. We'll see, though, this is a chance for Arsenal. Off the ceiling, flip, no, stopped. Takes control, minimal boost, but he gets that one past midfield, and no one is home. Just barely. Typical getting his nose on that one. We talked about this in the pre-show too, Lethamyr. The chance for these long shots to make it in if too much aggression comes out from Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, the aggression is just super high in some of these teams in the league now. You see these chances for teams to open up the field by a big clear like they did there for the Knights. It's dangerous territory, but at the same time you can see how dominating it can be as well. But that's an open net for Kinsey, who I believe just got the dunk at the end there.
Hey, baby, we take those. Kinsey, just long shot. That just goes in.
Oh, yeah, ZPS didn't even touch it.
So he would have
Arsenal couldn't make it back. And we were just talking about that, how the offense can be broken up so quickly into a great clear goal. This is great to see. The Knights with 3-0 up in this first game, or the third game. 2.5 minutes in, so halfway through the match now. By the Knights. It's not working out as well for them. And we're kind of seeing a complete table flip in the playstyles of the two teams. So if we can hold this pressure and control the pace of the game, we can see a much better result for the Knights moving forward in this match.
The Arsenal with the ball flip reset. That'll be a pass chance, but nope, there's that backboard control from ZPS. A hard clear. Might put him back onto offense, but ZPS out of boost backs out. Kinsey just with the body block. They're struggling at midfield as Space Station Gaming just forces their way through midfield line to try to get themselves onto offense. Just brute force gets them there, but of course, brute force means they're out of boost. They're have to back off, and another attack chance for the Knights as they sit up 3-0 with 1:30 left. Time dwindling now for Space Station to pull it back, and a reverse sweep is looking like it might be started here.
Yeah, great opportunity for the Knights in this game. We got 1.5 minutes left, just under that, and they're looking very confident, not letting a single. Okay, you know, Birdie. Sometimes
You did this.
I did do this.
You did this.
Yeah, the Knights are gonna hate me because they've said the last 2 weeks I've jinxed them in some regard, and there you go. I literally was just about to say so far I have not let a goal in, and it happened. So I'm just gonna shut my mouth for a little bit.
Someone that said you caster curse the caster curse by mentioning the caster curse.
That is too many. That's caster curseception. I don't know what's happening anymore.
We're too many layers deep now. Well, yeah, here. Yeah, I'll let you be quiet for a bit so you can keep your job.
Yeah, they're gonna fire me. They already said it.
It's already done. We'll see here though. They still got 47 seconds left. Hold off 2-goal lead. This is still a good position for the Knights. Not on the field positionally, but at least score-wise, they still have a cushion here, even if this play does go in. What a bump!
Oh,
what a touch!
What,
what even was that from Simplical?
The ball from this man, honestly, to sit in mid and bump a player, and then I believe that wasn't intentional, but what a pop to the left side. You know, the Knights really need to hold this 30-second defense to get this win out now. It was looking like a pretty convincing win, but now quite the fight.
You mentioned there, but literally the ball on him as he flips sideways.
That's what I'm saying.
To get that was pretty gnarly. We'll give that one to Space Station because we have 15 seconds left in full control of the field right now. So the Knights, with 10 seconds left, need to hold on, not let another one in to start this reverse sweep. And there's a shot, pressure potential here. They're going to keep it up. Just want this ball to drop now. 0 seconds left. The second this touches the ground. And there's a backflip from Sipical. Maybe intentional as he gets that touch. Out to center. Arsenal with flick potential. The boys, Knights, hold on to this one. CPS, last goal line, still a chance here. Arsenal keeps this one up with 0 boost, though. Can he get this one towards the net? The Knights just need this to touch the ground. Off the backboard, a shot chance here. It touches the ground in a heart-pounding finish there. The Pittsburgh Knights hold on, and they take game number 3 to start the reverse sweep.
I was just going to say, that turned into way more sweaty of a match than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
We had 1 minute and 20 left. They're 3-0 up in the series, in the match here. And it comes down to the wire with that last keep-up opportunity. So, great defense to hold that back line, but oh my goodness, what a transfer of pressure from Space Station. So they're definitely not letting up, even though they're down 3 goals. So we got to be aware of that in the future matches here.
I felt the collective just exhales from the entirety of the Pittsburgh Knights roster.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that was
from players on the field to subs and coaches, to all the fans in chat. That was a close one. Knights, let's not. I mean, you know how to make it exciting, but they do grab the win. Let's try to not to make it that close at the end there. We do at least just get the dubs. So the Knights now starting the reverse sweep. Lethamyr against Space Station Gaming. They need 2 more wins in a row to stay in the upper bracket. Otherwise, they will end up in the lower bracket. A reminder, this is a double elimination situation, so they're not out if they lose the series. But hey, why not try to do it in the upper bracket?
I'd like to see better defensive line, holding that back line. Now Rodoko with the chance. Gets bumped off, but Reynolds will catch in the corner. So ZPS smartly waiting for that challenge. Baits out Reynolds into a position where he's going to be stuck. So will just catch the ball. Chance for Rodoko, pops it over. Arsenal to the corner. Pass it off to Reynolds. Flex for boost, gets it clear. Can say with a great flick to the side. Keeps pressure on the side of the goal. We're going to see Rodoko challenge in midfield, but there's chances for Space Station to break away here with these early small ball plays. Bit of a misflick by Reynolds.
Yeah, this is a chance now because of that misflick for some pressure here, but A hard clear from Arsenal with 0 boost. He gets that out and the boost steal. If they keep pressure up, the Knights are going to have to work some magic here to get that ball out of their end of the field, because they're going to be dealing with a lot of pressure soon from Space Station Gaming. And there it is, midfield pressure all boosted up. Another shot chance. Reynolds gets that one over ZPS. And they just can't break past this midfield. Too.
That play by Cyclical off the backboard. Once again, that backboard defense needs to be holding strong. They always pop it up so high, does Space Station Gaming. You gotta be really careful not to overcommit. Great demo in midfield by Kinsey on Reynolds. Open up some space for the defense of the Knights. Backboard well defended by Rodoko, but passed in midfield. Booms the ball. Backfield. Backboard. Arsenal with a chance. Does miss it. Now Kinsey with some space.
There's a chance here now. The ZPS backflips to get out of the way. All 3 of Space Station Gaming players committed to that one. That was an opportunity, but now with no boost, you see the Knights just get the heck out of there, as they knew a counterattack potential was there. A shot from Reynolds as he bicycle kicks that one away. Saved just on the goal line by the Knights. Now they're on the attack. Lost possession. Let's see if they can get it back. Again, strange defense from Space Station as they struggle to get it out, but no punish from the Knights.
That was a bit of a comical little section of defense there, where everybody punched on top of each other and quick backflips. But a great pinch from Arsenal does open up some space. Kinsey smartly leaves that for ZPS. Now has a chance down the field. Quickly read out by Space Station.
Yeah, you'd be hoping ZPS would have carried that a bit further there, but you're right, got read out there and lost possession. Nice little half breezy, it looked like, from Rodoko. That's going to get stopped again, goal line.
Backward chance read out by Rodoko, who lands with midfield boost. I like this rotation in midfield, watching those plays just in case they open up.
Control there, ZPS, yeah, with a good flick there. Goes for a second. No one to back him up, though. I think he was hoping Rodoko was following close. He wasn't. He had backed off in case of a lost 50-50. Again, it seems like they got good control to get it to midfield, but past that midfield line, they seem to be struggling with moving that ball any further towards the blue side.
A chance for Arsenal once again in midfield. Very back and forth in game number 4. Such a difference in style from both teams. Playing a little safer, I would say. Maybe Space Station on the back foot after that loss, changing up how they're going to play their offense. We have a big booming clear. Kinsey will meet Arsenal on that ball. CPS to the left on Kinsey's side of the field. Double dunk. Now opens up a chance. Stays with it, but he's very low boost. Potentially 0. Roko clears the ball to the side. Reynolds with space. A lot of Space Station players pushing up in a position that isn't so convincingly in their possession. See a chance for Typical. Just throws it to Rodoko and now clears it down the field. The Knights really getting in the face of Space Station.
I think that's what they needed to do. They needed to get those hard weeds. We talked about it before. Being a bit behind the play. At least I talked about it before in game number 1. Being a bit behind the play there. Getting some reads. Double. Flip reset. No finish from Typical. And now that they're starting to get those reads, starting to get in the face, you know, even just getting up with the play there, those 50s help a lot to shut down kind of the speed and momentum from Space Station Gaming. With 3 seconds left, we might see an overtime here. Yeah, of course, Space Station is going to put that one to the ground as they were stuck in their own end with no boost. An overtime. 1 goal will set Space Station on to the semifinals of the upper bracket. 1 goal will continue this on for the Knights, but Typical is going to end this one quickly. And the Knights will have to try again in the lower bracket.
But scoreline, no different from week 1, but I believe that was a better fight for them, just the way they played, and definitely adapted to the play style of Space Station. Same set of players and teams that we saw in week 1. We have Alpine versus XSET happening on the opposite side of the bracket. The loser of that we will be watching for in the lower bracket. But yeah, you know what? It was a great fight. Definitely cleans it up. It was a big mess at the beginning, as you can see. A lot of jumbled up plays in match number 1 and 2. With Knights coming in with what was thought to be a convincing win. win for Game 3, but it got really, really close at the end there with Space Station coming back at the 0 seconds nearly with that keep-up play.
I mean, it's not like I'm suddenly unconvinced with that win they had. I think it was just, you just have to realize what Space Station is. Space Station is a very versatile team, and a team that's not just going to roll over, halfway through a series. So I was expecting that to be close there as well. That's, not an unexpected result. The fact that the Pittsburgh Knights, after game number 1, going 4-0 in that one, were able to bring it back, keep the resolve, and then, win that game number 3 and take one off of Space Station Gaming is phenomenal.
I just have to note that I was a stick figure for a while there. So
I missed that.
I don't know if I'm back yet, but I went into 2D World for a moment. I'm sorry about that, guys. I think I'm here now. But,
that's all right. Sometimes you just got to get rid of that third dimension.
Yeah, that's all good.
But while we got replays up, let's talk about the series again. We as you said, it was convincing. It was convincing at game number 3 there. They give up a couple goals near the end there that got a little hectic. We also almost ended up in an overtime situation in that spot, and that's why I wasn't super worried, it wasn't unexpected, coming into game number 4 that it would go to an overtime like that, because Space Station Gaming, as I said, isn't a team that's going to just fall apart and just roll over here. So I still like what I saw, in all honesty, from the Knights. The fact that you went to an overtime still, you got the win in game number 4, you kept it close by the end of the series, which means you're ready and paced up, which means you can take on whoever you end up facing down in that lower bracket. So I liked what I saw from the Knights by the end of that series.
Yeah, no, they looked a lot better moving into the rest of the matches here. Like we said, we've seen them face off against Space Station before. I think that with the showing they had in this match, I feel pretty confident in the lower bracket. Them going off against either Alpine or XSET. Just as we mentioned, this XSET and Alpine are actually in the midst of Game 5 right now, with Alpine being up 2 goals in the final match. So it's looking like we could have that XSET bracket matchup like you mentioned that you wanted to see. So JPOW, Alraz, and Alpha Cap are definitely a team to be reckoned with. All these matches are going such close Game 5s nowadays. It's really hard to guess what's going to be happening or what's going to happen next. So either team that we face here, it's going to be a tough matchup, but hopefully we can push further and closer to that qualifying round and start to get some wins in the points. More than 10 points, I would say. We want to get into the top 8 bracket and start to push into the qualifying rounds and get more points on the board for those majors coming up later in the months to come.
Now, just want to remind you guys that there is a giveaway going on right now that after game number 2, regardless of a win or loss, that we will be giving away a HyperX package every single week, and the winner will be drawn very soon. But make sure you get on over there, retweet, and take a friend. Just follow instructions on the screen right here, and follow Knights GG on Twitter for the HyperX package. So again, we'll be giving that away very soon. You want to win this package, so you better get over there, and you better enter that.
I mean, yeah, you can't be turning your back on a HyperX giveaway chance, especially with the viewership here. We got all the people in for Jinx and for Twitch. If you want to head over to those to the link and draw your name in there for a chance to win these, it'd be great opportunity for you guys. So definitely don't be slacking.
Don't be slacking. Get on over there.
Slacking.
Twitter.com/KnightsGG. Get in that giveaway. We'll be drawing that winner after our next match here, which we're still waiting to see will be either Alpine or XSET, as they are in game number 5 here. As you said, looking like Alpine's pulling through. But here's the thing, though. I want to talk about this match, Lethamyr. I want to talk about XSET. XSET's been a team that a lot of people are saying, I want to see them do good. I want to see that they have this potential. But then they've just been falling pretty short of our expectations, or at least the expectations I'm seeing of other people around the community. And I'm not sure what your thoughts going into, before RLCS had started for XSET, if you had any thoughts about them, what they were, what your expectations were, if you feel like they're underwhelming right now, if you feel like they have the potential, you mentioned, most teams can meet the potential. But for XSET, are we finally now seeing what they can do? Or is this, is that underwhelming what we should expect from XSET?
It's hard to say because the Knights 3-0'd Alpine last week, and XSET is putting up a bit of a fight to Alpine, but Alpine ultimately took this series 3-2. Just finished off here. J-Pow, Alraz, and Alpha Cap, they look good here and there, but their inconsistencies can plague them, and that's what we're seeing. That's not really working out for them as well as we thought it would for that squad. So we're hoping to see the Knights push against this team and move up to the next round. I think they can definitely do it. I wouldn't say it's like underwhelming performance by XSET. I just think that there's so many good teams nowadays that if you don't pop off on the day or you don't show up, then you're going to run into the same kind of issues that every team is plagued by in the bubble scene. Is just the inconsistencies will ultimately defeat you. It's not even your gameplay itself. It's just if the team isn't on point together as a unit, they're going to run into some problems.
Well, I think just by default, what you mentioned before is, Pittsburgh Knights 3-0'd Alpine, and they just beat XSET. So I think just by default, we should be giving them the win here because we're obviously way better of a team than XSET. They went to game 5, right? We 3-0'd Alpine. So let's just give us the win and move on. How about that? XSET, you cool with that? Do you think you're cool with that?
Just, why don't you just not play? Just how about that? Just move on to the next match. It's already over. You know what I mean? We're gonna easily sweep this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick look over the bracket here and just update you guys in case you don't have Liquipedia open here. So looking at the bracket, we're over in Group C and D. Space Station Gaming, Pittsburgh Knights, Alpine Esports, XSET, Rogue, Peeps, SONIQS, Charlotte Phoenix. You can take a look there. We had Space Station Gaming. Obviously, we just watched that one here on twitch.tv/Knights and Jinx TV. The Knights losing 3-1. Alpine taking 3-2, which will put them against Space Station there. Rogue taking it 3-1 over the Knights, or the Peeps, sorry. As they move on, that was expected result for me, at least Lethamyr. And the SONIQS 3-0 over Charlotte Phoenix. Fairly convincingly, too, especially game number 2, hitting 3-0, shutting Charlotte Phoenix. So Charlotte Phoenix down in the lower bracket. So for the Knights, they have XSET and Charlotte Phoenix to look forward to. XSET will be the next match. But looking at the Charlotte Phoenix and based off the results so far, my money's
are the previous
over Phoenix in that lower one
squad, so it would be interesting for sure to see that matchup later on. Actually, we don't. We would face off the loser of SONIQS and Rogue, right? But for the Peeps and the Charlotte Phoenix, you've got
we'll face off against
AJ,
SONIQS,
Gyro, and who's lost on that team? Is it still
AJ? Sorry for Gyro and Luz and Leon.
Yeah, I didn't know that. He was my old teammate. So that's kind of awkward.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I was just a little busy. Yeah, just a little bit. That's a pretty solid squad. Charlotte Phoenix looking pretty good here and there with Dapper. Like I said, it's a newer team as well. So two teams bring on new players. This roster shuffle is insane. Every team has made some changes. It's gonna be a tough one. I think the Peeps definitely have a little more experience in the RLCS upper bracket. Upper bracket of league of teams. I don't know. I think it's really depending on how the players are feeling that day. With Rogue taking the Peeps 3-1, maybe the Peeps aren't feeling too confident today. I know Rogue has been on quite a streak lately of performance, which is great to see. I don't know. I think that I think it's gonna go to the Peeps. I'm just gonna say the Peeps.
That's fair. I mean, I'm gonna say the Peeps.
Yeah.
It's the Peeps have a lot more experience as well. I think something we learned last week in the RLCS is it started a while ago too. Is one of the rules of Rocket League is you don't sleep on the Peeps. So the Peeps are a team that have a lot of potential here. Charlotte Phoenix has a lot to answer for here. I mean, a 3-0 against SONIQS is not a result that they want to see, and I know again how much every win and loss means to the players, especially to Karma. on this roster. So this could be weighing heavy on them, but they have a lower bracket run potential that they can make a run now. But again, they have to go into peeps. So
I mean, Karma does have the power of lightning behind her, so
that is true.
You guys don't know, she did get struck by lightning through her computer about a month and a half ago, and maybe she's got some superpowers she's not letting us know about. So we'll have to see what happens in this series down there. But we're more focused on the other bracket side, which is Rogue versus SONIQS.
SONIQS, yeah.
And it's gonna be a tough matchup regardless of who loses out there on the upper bracket. But with XSET moving forward, I think we're gonna look for a clean win here. Hopefully, pop off a little more. And like we said, we're looking a little more consistent as we moved through the matches against Space Station in the upper bracket. So a lot of chances to really clean up those mistakes. And once we move into what was previously an RLCS team, now we're all kind of RLCS. I have no idea. How does this all work? We're kind of RLCS. We're kind of I don't
basically RLCS now. We're all RLCS.
Just a
Chat,
big
you're
league.
all RLCS. All you viewers, everybody, we're all RLCS now. Tags for everybody. I don't have the power, so don't hold me to it. But tags for everybody. We need a I really wanted in-game for anybody that applies. If you're on Reddit, I want an RLCS armchair analyst tag.
That would be perfect. There'd be hundreds of them.
It'd be amazing. It'd be so truthful.
Analyst. That's how it is.
Who's applying for an RLCS armchair analyst tag?
It's looking like we're about to jump in here, though, into the match. I'm excited to see this matchup. We haven't seen XSET play the Knights yet, so like you said, it's been up and down with Alpha Kep. We are Team Blue in this matchup, so we're swapping sides over here. But I'm excited to see Alpha Kep, Alraz, and JPow take it against the Knights here, because this is a new matchup we haven't seen. Maybe they've scrimmed together, probably, most likely. Yeah. But like we said, this is a really good chance for
most likely
scrims or extra practice for these teams. Obviously, there is something to work for in this tournament, but at the end of the day, you still have as much of a chance moving into the next weeks. It's just great chances to play these teams you might not play normally.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this match then. Pittsburgh Knights versus XSET next. XSET just lose, we saw before. Up in the upper bracket, 3-2 against Alpine. Pittsburgh Knights 1 against Gaming. Pittsburgh Knights, Lethamyr coming in a bit upper hand based off the results we've seen from XSET, but of course we haven't seen XSET play today. This is the first time we've seen them on this specific broadcast.
Not only that, but also the teams they've played. The Knights have had quite a tough run in these last 2 weeks, and including this week so far. That it's just going to be a matter of if they can bring that experience into this matchup. Well, they've had quite a series of games. You got like xCloud9, Energy.
It's been a tough run.
Yeah.
But again, I think that experience, and this is exactly why things like the grid are so cool, is because look at all that experience that the Knights are gaining right now. That when they come up against teams like this, that or other teams in the scene that they played before, they're going to have that experience and that momentum. And there it is, momentum holding them off to a good start. ZPS puts one away for the Pittsburgh Knights. Let's see if they can continue this trend.
And they've been holding the pressure for the entirety of this game so far. It's barely been on their half, so it's good to see them bringing constant pressure right off at the start of this match. You see Rodoko has to collect here for a little bit. 2 players committed for the team. Gets a decent 50-50. Quick shot by Kinte. Will return it downfield. Alpha Kep goes back for boost. High dunk by JPow. What a read that was. And a good chance here. Early 50-50s. Oh no, JPow. You didn't have to do it to our boys. Oh my goodness.
Can we... Where's the exclamation point ban JPow? In the chats, please. Get him out of here. I don't want to see any more of that. Unacceptable.
That one hurt. There's no walking around that one. That one just hurt my soul.
Well, whatever. We'll get another one back. It's okay. JPow, go away! I said get off that side of the field. You're not allowed here. The Knights try to get that lead back. This is game number 1 in a best of 5 in the lower bracket. The loser of this series, their journey for week number 3 is done. And they'll sit with 10 points in the grid system.
Consolation prize.
Something's better than nothing.
For
But
sure.
of course, again, prize money on the line as well. $10,000 every week for the grid. And right now, the Knights are trying to make a run into that final bracket. Week number 1 and week number 2 cut it short from them. Their journey down the bracket here is 1. You can see a win happening for sure and a qualification for the final single limb bracket. So the Knights having to exit in the way, and then the loop of SONIQS versus for that to qualify for that final bracket. There's 3 more wins to the whole thing.
So far,
journey long today.
So far, it's been back and forth. You can't
They
really
can
discredit
win
that
here
fake.
as they go
That
up
was a great
XSET.
chance for XSET, but holding the pressure are the Knights, which is good to see. Good chance here. Blocked up by Alpha in the back left corner. Chance here, a shot going into Kinsey off that demo. It's a great pressure back and forth.
Yeah, we take this one again. Just so much space for Kinsey, and he just bangs that one home. Top cheese. There's no way you're stopping that one. Physical play is starting to come out now for the Pittsburgh Knights. As they regain that lead, 2.5-minute mark is now here. And XSET, hopefully, we'll see them continue to trail behind.
I'm noticing so far is XSET is just super aggressive on that third man, which is where those openings are coming from. As you can see, every player on XSET is very low boost. Even AlphaCat doesn't want to commit on that just because he's in a bad position. Bumping opportunity from JPow. Gets knocked out mid. Just such slow rotations back. It's going to open up some chances for the Knights. Goes for a touch. This Kinsey misses it. Chance here. 2 players committed. Go for that last shot. Open shot for AlphaCat. He does finish it off. So now we're 2-2. It's a much more back and forth series than we saw with Space Station.
Yeah, true. That's not what you like to see, Lethamyr. Triple commit from the boys in blue. And XSET's going to be able to punish that one. If XSET didn't score on that one, I actually would have been disappointed in them as well. Because that's something you want to punish, and that's not something, though, you want to see out of the Knights.
Yeah, it's back and forth action. It's not the most requested journey you'd want to be taking through a series or through a tournament. Definitely want to be more convincing and dominating series. It's definitely looking better than it was against Space Station, but obviously Space Station is just a higher pressure team. A good offensive demo there from ZPS. Opens up the field. Alraz will pass it back. Now, what do you think we need to see from the Knights to really start pushing this series to their end more convincingly?
Sorry, for the Knights?
Yeah, what do they need to do that will really hold a more convincing win for them?
Honestly, I feel like they're respecting XSET a little bit too much right now. I mean, I think they're coming off that Space Station max, thinking that they need to slow it down a bit, but they don't need to do that. I think this is a match you can get up there exactly like we're seeing up from ZPS right now. Get up there fast. Look at these fast contests, and now they're in the other end of the field. Keep those up, and eventually you're going to break through. And I think that's what they just need to do is keep meeting those. Don't give as much space as they're giving to XSET. A lot of times it feels like XSET's on their own end of the field for like 2 seconds, and there's just no one there contesting them.
Yeah, XSET keeps trying to go so fast these challenges, but sometimes they're out behind the play, which puts them in a bad situation if you just commit. So yeah, the respect there from the Knights is causing some of these issues. As you can see, there's some chances for the Knights off this backguard play. Bit of a miss from AlphaCat. Opens up the field, and we will go to overtime in game number 1. This is the best of 5, like we said, for every match for today. And of course we see overtime. We're used to this at this point. Leaf.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Knights are, they like to keep it close. But game number 1, man, you're just making this journey longer for you. As we mentioned, there's still 2 left. Oh, what a save on the goal line, but they've been doing this on defense a lot, where they just kind of like get a little scrambly and things getting close. We saw it with the Space Station game where it was a little scary during that game number 4 where they had the lead, or game number 3, sorry, where they had the lead. They need some control of this on defense here.
Yeah, there's some scary opportunities that are coming out of XSET's offense. But a good chance here for Rodoko. Goes for the flick play. Doesn't quite pop it over, but a little bit late to the play is Kinsey, but a chance off the backboard and a crossbar down. So crossbar MVP for the again, goes off backboard. Last player committed. All players scrambled. All 6 players in the air at that moment. So high octane gameplay. Good bouncing shot. Clear it down the field. Alpha Cap will collect. The flip reset. Leaves it for Kinsey. Araz needs to get this clear. Every player kind of chasing down the ball right now. Waiting for their opportunity to strike. Nothing too threatening from any players in the field. As you can see, just a ball plops in the back corner.
Yeah.
Now Rodoko with a chance in midfield. Goes for the fake. Goes for the demo. Bump on the player, but we do see Alpha Cap get back and bail out the boys on XSET side. A lot of dangerous high ball action, but at the same time, there's a lot of free balls that give these opportunities up to allow players to go for these air dribble and quick reset plays.
I think the issue right now is we're seeing a bit of, when they are on offense now, finally, it's a bit of just solo play after solo play. There have been passing opportunities for the Knights. I want to see them connect with each other a bit more. They're looking for the physical play, and they've been getting a bit of it. You saw again from Rodoko on that air dribble. He got the bump. You saw an attempt over there as well. But the solo plays are only going to do so much until they just get stopped, and you run out of boost and have to go back to your own end. And so maybe a passing play is going to be that final drive home here for the Knights, as they have the pressure, but they need to just get that defense of XSET out of the goal line to be able to open up some scoring lanes.
It's really good pressure right now, though. There's a lot of mistakes from the side of XSET. But a great beat out by J-Pow will open up some space. Now pass it mid. Early read. DPS will catch on the backboard. So 3-minute overtime mounting here in the first match of this series. A high ball clear. Could be just in off that side. And Kinsey will clear it on the right side of the field. And
Okay.
yeah, that's
All right.
that's what we're talking about earlier on is that players are super committed as third man, and you can see these openings. And there we go.
We'll take those.
We take that. We keep saying this. We take those.
There's been a couple of those, but you still take those.
Yeah, it's back and forth pressure. Like the saves, it didn't seem that way, but way more saves on the side of the Knights. 10 saves to 7 here, but the Knights do hold out, and they get this first win after 8 minutes of gameplay, back and forth. Really, honestly, the whole time. It's just that fake though. We will never live that down, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, that's when you get J-Pow. You lose.
Yeah, that's what happens. You don't do that. You make them
that.
angry. You make the Knights angry, they will come back and bite you. So good again. Oh, go ahead.
The Knights taking game number 1 against XSET, only by 1 goal though, and you mentioned it, a long game into overtime, 8 minutes of gameplay. We had 3 into overtime there. So it's a long game, and there's still more to go right now. It was a lot closer than they probably wanted here, but I think, again, we've seen it before. The Pittsburgh Knights are good with momentum, and they start to ramp up as they go throughout these series. So I expect, again, hopefully, this to be a bit more of a steamroll as we head to game number 2 and game number 3, and a 3-0 sweep here on the side of Pittsburgh Knights. So we're going to find out as we get into game number 2, XSET versus Pittsburgh Knights. The Knights taking game number 1.
Yeah, you want to see more of a convincing win in the future of this match. You leave it down to an overtime, you never know what's going to happen. You want to be on top of the game here. The mid J-Pow passed over to Alraz. Will be left for Rodoko. Early chance. Knocked out by Alpha Cap. All these dribbles, this is what you're talking about. These solo plays in midfield is just not going to work for them. You see XS just keeps trying to go for those dribbles, but with players like ZPS on the field, you're going to be caught out quite early from those dribble chances. And you really force your team to be up the field with you to try and cover those 50-50s as they go poorly.
First minute here, the attack is set on by the Pittsburgh Knights. We talked about that momentum coming into this game. And they're starting off on the right foot. as they try to get an attack started. No possession hold from XSET as they just kind of give the ball away. I like to see that. More of that, please. As this midfield just seems to be relatively easy to hold on for the Knights.
A very static game so far. Back and forth shots, but nothing too threatening. You see the players kind of testing the waters on the defensive side. Great fake by DPS, though. Almost a chance on a dunk. Oh, so many dunks back and forth. Good chances for the Knights. I would say they're looking the more convincing team in this series, which I kind of expected because as we talked about, XSET have been a little bit lackluster in their performance and results lately. Chance in the corner. AlphaCap does bump the DPS off that ball, so now he will retreat. JPow, late challenge. Go for the dunk, does Kinsey, but AlphaCap now gets the space to flick. An open shot for Alrez. Gonna finish it off with an air dribble, and he does. And Kinsey could not make it back in time.
And there it is, a goal. First, in favor of XSET. Physical play is disrupting the defense from the Pittsburgh Knights. And I don't want to talk about their goal anymore, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna move on. That's how it works. We don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right, Lev.
We just won't mention XSET
I'm just not gonna
ever
do it.
again. Yeah, just ever again.
Who even are these guys?
I don't even know. I just see three blue players in the field.
That's all I see. They're just, you know, kind of free playing right now, just training.
Yeah, the ball's moving around really weird. I don't know what's going on. There's like some weird force field.
Did you mod this again?
Yeah, probably. To be honestly, at this point. A good midfield pass and a dunk. AlphaCap getting a great 50-50 off that final touch, but that really came from that midfield presence. That back pass into midfield, and Alvarez passing it back to his teammate. So selfless plays there. Maybe unintentional, you never know, honestly, but it worked out really well for them. So we're looking for the Knights to bring it back. I know we said we weren't going to talk about them, but we have to give credit where credit's due.
That's something I want to see out of the Knights, though. Again, those passing plays, we've seen a little bit too much tunnel vision to play, I think, coming out from the Knights on their offensive drives here. Like, they're going for the demos in that, but they're not thinking about what's behind or beside them. I think they're missing out on opportunities like we just saw from XSET there. The chances to throw that ball mid, and the chances for them to pull out those defenders on the XSET side. We've seen a pretty weak defense sometimes on the side of XSET. Something that I think is totally breakable if we get those passing plays.
Yeah, we really need that midfield presence. You know, there's a chances here to cut them off and start to play, but DPS gets the dunk downfield. Pow for a clear down the field, and we see Kinsey committing as well, and Rodoko taken out of the play, and a chance in the backboard. So these booms down the field could work out. A touch from Rodoko, pops it over JPow, but once again, room to collect for XSET on this back end.
1 minute left now approaching, and XSET are sitting in the lead by 2 goals. This is still a potential for a comeback, but momentum just does not seem to be really in the favor of the Knights right now. They seem to be, again, just a little bit behind any of the touches from the XSET players. They need to get control, and they need to get that ball to each other, start moving it upfield with some passing plays, then get some physical plays. This is what I like to see, though. ZPS is up. Takes a straight shot, and that's going to be cleared hard down the other end. Alraz, double touch potential, a missed backboard touch. Could have resulted in another goal for XSET, but thankfully it doesn't. Now, counterattack. Kinsey without a boost. Goes down the other side.
Oh, that was so
They tried.
Great return, though, by ZPS to keep it out, but at this point, with 10 seconds left, 2 goals up, it's looking like XSET are going to balance out this series and equalize 1-1, and JPow just putting in a consolation goal at this point. No need to score anymore. 4 seconds left. This game will definitely be going to XSET.
Yeah, right. XSET is going to take this one. In my eyes, I've mentioned a lot of the things I'd like to see change, but I really want to see some more passing plays. I really honestly feel, unless I'm blind, that a lot of these plays upfield were sole plays. They're shots on net, or they're demos without a follow-up. The ball wasn't being passed enough, I don't believe. for the Pittsburgh Knights. But maybe in your eyes, Lethamyr, you've seen something different that you'd like to see coming into this next game.
I think I totally disagree with you.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing any passing. We're just seeing booms down the field, clears that really just get collected by XSET. If we want to see us moving forward in the qualifier of week number 3, we really need to see more collected, possession and then shots that are more in midfield from a 1-2 pass instead of just directly on net. These clears are not going to be defended. These are some of the best players in the world. We're not going to see a shot that goes down the field unless there's an open breakaway like we saw at the end of overtime in game number 1. They're just going to be collected and recollected into a breakaway. So you don't want to give your opponents more opportunities to make those shots and take those opportunities to bring it downfield, especially when you're low boost and you're trying to like spit the ball down the field just to give some space. They'll bring it back down real quick and put you in a very high pressure situation.
Well, we're about to drop into game at number 3 as the Pittsburgh Knights are facing off against XSET. And XSET taking game number 2, tied 1-1 in the series. Pittsburgh Knights needing to get this momentum back. Leth and I believe that they need a little more team play and passing plays to get some of these offensive drives started and open up those opportunities, pull out those defenders on side of XSET, and get some goals. So we'll find out if they can do that in game number 3 of this best of 5. Winner of this will set themselves at match point to move on in the bracket. Loser of the series overall will be done for week number 3 of the grid. 30 seconds in. If they can start an early drive, they can't. It's XSET putting the pressure on.
Now Alraz backing off. Alpha kept trying to get a collection in the back corner. Doesn't work out for them. Really, really aggressive plays. See the bumps coming in from the Knights now. This is the kind of demo pressure we wanted to see from what we saw in week 2, where they really start to get in the face of the opponents and start to make together.
And now Alpha Kep with a potential good 50 from Rodoko. No follow-up though, so CPS going to try to clear it to the opposite side. Rodoko trying to extend that by getting a touch on it. It's going to be a no-go. No midfield pressure from them. They'll end up on their side of the field. J. Powell with a chance puts it to the right side, but it ends up center.
It doesn't work
No
out.
goals yet for other team.
Now we're seeing a ceiling play chance for XSET. CPS waits wisely on the floor, doesn't see the opportunity, opening shot, so he waits for that collection. You want to see that possession grab, but then also set up some plays down the field. See a chance here. Rodoko goes for the shot, but 2 players committed. Not the worst result. It's a 50-50 mid. Now Rodoko has off that last man. As you can see, back and forth once again. So this series is really back and forth. I don't really know what's going to happen here. We're hoping to see more convincing, with that midfield passing plays. But so far, it's just catch, dribble, 50-50, clear, and rinse, repeat.
Yeah, someone's got to take control of this. No one on defense. The Knights aren't going to be able to do that very quickly. Okay, well, we take those.
Once again, we take those. 50-50 goes well clean in favor of Ginsei here. Alras trying to go for the shot. You think he probably would have wanted to go around the goal there since there was a player defending, but sometimes tunnel vision does result in a poor 50-50 like that. And the Knights are fortunately up in game number 3 out of what I would call a bit of a fortunate situation.
Yeah. I mean, that last defender's got to be aware that those 50s can come out like that. Pinches are a very common thing in Rocket League. So when that ball gets between 2 fast-moving cars, it can go flying. So that last defender on XSET should have been there. So, it may have been fortunate the 50 went that way, but that defender wasn't there. And I wonder if we can punish some more of those in the future. Likely not. We'll probably see XSET start hold that defense, but maybe that'll give some more midfield control for the Knights. If XSET tries to hold off that defensive side a bit stronger. And this is a chance now There's Rodoko. He sends that one to the far left side there, but it gets intercepted before it can reach a teammate. The pressure is on. Team cycling in and out as the Knights try to find that scoring lane, but it's not going to be there. Quick counterattack. Alraz with that dominance just sends it flying towards the net. And Pittsburgh Knights counting their lucky stars. That one didn't crossbar down.
As I was talking about, when you have a dominance on the field, those shots are just so threatening. They go so quickly, like a paddle flick.
But be over your head in a second.
Exactly, and we see they're holding good pressure here, are the Knights. So great changeup from game number 2. Another shot chance, saved out by J-Pow at the end there. Alpha kept getting a great dunk. Alpha kept keeps it to the side, goes for early touch. J-Pow to return back, but CPS with the early shot, trying for those early chances. And with 30 seconds left, it's a little bit scary, but J-Pow does get some room here.
Ooh, Kinsey caught in no man's land there. That's going to be hard to defend for ZPS as he just tries to get it out, but J-Pow is going to get credit for a touch that didn't go wide enough.
And the bump into ZPS and then unfortunately drops down. I hate to see it. I mean, this has been a day of we'll take those and we hate to see it.
Yeah,
it's a storyline so far.
We've had one or two like sick plays from either team, but beyond that, most of the goals have just been like, oh, I guess that did happen.
We live and we forget. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on.
Hey, I'm good at forgetting. Oh, that almost went in with 3 seconds left. That's not what you like to see. So at least it stayed out. We hit overtime. Last time we had overtime here between these two teams, the Pittsburgh Knights came out victorious, but it did go to 3 minutes. It was a long overtime. We'll see if they can end this one early. Kickoffs can always reset momentum. They're trying. Midfield line control here, but a bump from Alraz sends ZPS to the moon before Elon Musk can get there, and that's going to be a chance into the net. Rodoko with a ridiculous flick takes the overtime in 18 seconds.
And that bump just gives them space. They expected a player to get in the way, but Alraz just no boost to his name. And Rodoko making a great solo play. We talked about solo plays being the death of them, but as we see here, the overtime does go in their favor because of one. So great solo performance by Rodoko to clean up that game in overtime and in quite a quick fashion too.
And there it is. Match point for the Pittsburgh Knights as they're looking to move in to the lower bracket, round number 2, as XSET stands in their way, but that XSET mountain not looking too big to climb over right now, as there's been a couple of overtimes, but they've been climbable. So the Pittsburgh Knights hopefully coming out victorious after this next one.
XSET tried to climb a mountain last series against Alpine, but unfortunately they couldn't do it.
Yeah, literally.
So maybe mountains aren't their thing today. So we'll have to see how the Knights do in game number 4, and hopefully closing out the series 3-1 like Space Station did against them.
Yeah.
But it's been back and forth, a little more convincing in the side of Knights, which is good to see. We're actually dropping into a new lobby here, so give us a little bit of a second. But
time for Talk It League.
Talking about what's been happening so far in the series, I think that they're definitely cleaning up their act. The Knights are, I would say. They're looking a little more controlled, a little more accurate in their passing plays, their avenues, and really taking that time that they weren't taking against Space Station. And maybe there is a bit of XSET not giving a little more space to do that, but at the same time, you need to recognize when you have the space no matter what team you're playing. So moving into this last game, we want to see that sort of same game plan, moving in, making those chances in midfield, and sort of just cutting off opportunities when you can early on. CPS with an early chance here with the air dribble flip reset.
Well, here we are, game number 4. As the Pittsburgh Knights set up at match point, 2-1 against XSET in this best of 5 to continue their journey. If they can win this series, they have one more to qualify for the final bracket. It's not even over. It's a long journey tonight. And they'll face either the loser of Rogue versus SONIQS, but of course, the most important thing is the match at hand. XSET still standing in their way. The games have been very close between these two. And the Knights with an early offensive drive.
some opening space for Kinsey. Does just boom the ball forward.
Yeah,
So J-Pow will collect that so quickly. Back and forth possession giving away. Great positioning by CPS to be ready in the back corner. Early flick now puts Kinsey in a 1v3. Tries to cut it off early. Alraz misses the ball. Early flick. Going to keep that high. Really, really aggressive play by both teams. Good shot opportunity. Goes a little bit high. Now Alpha kept overcommitted. Kinsey with a 1v1 opportunity. Pops over one. Alpha kept bails at his team and Alraz to continue down the field.
1 minute, 30 seconds passed by as neither team gets a goal here. Again, a little bit of possession throwaway we saw early on here. We'd like to see those team plays. This is a good drive down to the orange end. It's both teams looking for the first goal on the scoreboard. The Knights trying to be the first, but now it's XSET the other way around. We've seen a lot of connection from the XSET players. Thankfully, they haven't been able to turn those into goals. But it's something I really want to see again. Some more out from the Pittsburgh Knights.
So this is a chance for...
Oh, he missed?
Yeah,
okay.
for XSET. He did miss, but he passed it into mid for Alraz. Maybe he called it just in case. But overcommitment by the Knights. This is the thing that's been plaguing both these teams in this series, is the overcommitment. So whoever's gonna hold that back line the most is probably gonna be a little bit advantageous in this series.
Well,
we really don't want to see any more Game 5s, Leaf.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we need the Knights through because this is a long day for the Knights. The further they go in every series, the longer their day's going to be and the more tired they're going to be. But ZPS quickly brings that back. I was going to mention kickoffs can reset momentum, as I've mentioned before, and this is exactly the result of that. Quick capitalization of a kickoff and a tied game.
Dunk there, too. As J-Pow tried to collect the ball, and a quick snuff out by the Knights puts them in an awkward situation. And the dunk, or the doink by ZPS. You like to see it now instead of you hate it.
Yeah, we like
great
it. Yeah.
flick though by ZPS will double their scoreline and take them into the lead in this final game. Well, hopefully final game, as they are match point in this best of 5. So great play by ZPS, carrying his team right now with these touches.
Well, I feel like ZPS are MVP from previous series and weeks has been a little bit quiet the past, week number 3. We haven't seen much from him, but now we're starting to see him wake up a little bit as he takes control of those kickoffs, make sure the momentum's in his favor, and that's going to spark something behind his team as they start to greet a lot of these high challenges in 50s, and now they're getting a little more aware of these counterattack potential from XSET.
Yeah, they're sitting way further back. You see ZPS and Kinsey both waiting for those clears, those giveaways of possession. And awkward positioning by XSET will open up the field once again for the Knights. This is looking more and more convincing in pressure. As you can see, ZPS putting in another goal off of an awkward play in the back corner. Alras trying to catch up, but that 50-50 goes in favor of Rodoko and out to ZPS.
Oh, I think Alpha Clep may have side flipped there by accident.
Yeah, low boost in the net. It's so difficult to get up so fast. You're going to be pushing your hands a little bit too hard. And unfortunately, it does flip out of the way, but it's good news for us on the Knights side. Chance for Rodoko. Alras push out the field. He gets the flick. DPS with the pre-jump.
Sometimes all you need is a little momentum. ZPS is starting to wake up. Almost solos that one down the field. This might have been exactly what the Knights needed. Not that you want to rely on one player to get you some dubs, but if you can rely on one player to get you some dubs, well, I guess go for it.
We'll take it. And a great shot there by Rodoko. Back right bottom corner. And they're really starting to walk away with this. Run away with it, honestly.
Not to be outdone, a beautiful shot. The placement, far bottom corner, out of reach of that last defender there. Throwing away a 4th goal. And this, with 1 minute left, may be the end of this series against XSET. As a 3-goal comeback is not going to be likely.
Now don't be jinxing this.
Hey, I don't think I've been the cause of this at all. I can say whatever I want out here.
Hey, I mean that's fair. That's fair. It has been me, for the most part. But we've had our ups and downs.
Right now it's an up for the Pittsburgh Knights. XSET. Ooh, for Doko. This is what I like to see, though. We're starting to feel some momentum. We're starting to get a vibe going on here from the Knights. So going into their next series, they're going to be feeling pretty good.
It's a tough one, too, no matter who they're facing off. So to get this match out of the way and move on and thinking about what they want to do next in the next series, that pressure game is super important, especially against an RLCS team. Otherwise, we'll get a goal here, but it won't really matter. There's 5 seconds left. And with 4-2 in game number 4, they will take it on match point. Now, Brody, if I swear, if we, if they get another goal in the next 5 seconds,
it's not gonna happen.
I will walk out.
I will. Just peace. It is not gonna happen. Watch, look at
there. It is.
It's over. GG's.
They tried for a fake kickoff, didn't work out.
I haven't seen one of those in a while, to be honest.
Thankfully for my own soul, that went down in 5 seconds, but you can see ZPS just carrying the team on his back in that game.
Yeah.
And obviously have to credit Rodoko as well with the assists. Kinsey holding that back line, like I talked about, that's kind of his play style. Didn't have to do too much in this game, but that's sort of what you want to see is a player sort of holding that back line and just making the clears when he needs to.
Well, here's the thing. Pittsburgh Knights now taking that one 3-1 over XSET. As they move on in the bracket, they'll be facing off against, again, the loser of Rogue versus SONIQS, which has gone to a game number 5. And Pittsburgh Knights coming out at the end of this one. You know, you talked about ZPS having, putting it on his back there, but I felt like a lot of his goals weren't the craziest of goals. I'm glad he was there to punish things, though. So coming to this next one, it's not like all of a sudden they're fully momentum. Honestly, I still see a bit of problems from the Pittsburgh Knights that could be troublesome going into their next matchup here, but it's already the right start, and I feel like this last win is going to be good for the mental aspect of things here. Right. We saw Rodoko just feeling good with his launch there, the placement of that shot. You saw ZPS again getting to that ball super quick, and that's what we like to see out of ZPS. We want to see him getting to that ball quick and just getting the ball down the field, setting up some plays for his teammates to put away the ball, because that's what ZPS is good at, and that's why he was our MVP in previous weeks.
Yeah, it's looking great. Like we said, we like to see these wins, and although it's not as difficult of a team as it is for Space Station, for example, it's good to see that they're more dominant against these teams that are sort of in their bracket. And you know what? We want to see Pittsburgh Knights move into that higher bracket of teams where they start to take games or series off of teams like Energy, Rogue, which maybe we might be facing. We don't know yet. It's just good to see that they're starting to really learn what they want to do as a team. Every week they seem to improve in some regard. So by week 9 they're going to be a master class and take over the whole scene. We're gonna see that.
Hey, I mean, it was called out in chat before. We had RLCSX winners, Pittsburgh Knights. So they're on the journey there. It's not going to be an easy one, that's for sure. There's a lot of good teams in North America, but these grid matchups and tournaments are super important to that journey right now. As you said, we've seen such a transformation from week 1 to 2 and now into 3. And in all honesty, coming into week number 3, still a little bit rough as they work on making sure that they look for each other. It's a question I want to ask you in the middle of it. You know, we talked about some of the times where, they had a chance to use the ball, but they just banged it towards their opponent and gave that possession away. When you're in a tunnel vision situation like that, because to me, I feel like that's what it is. You just sometimes get tunnel vision. Here's the ball, get it away, you panic. What can you do to bring yourself back out of that? Because I feel like that is hard. Some days there's just a day where you're narrow-minded and that's all you can think about. You're not thinking about the other players on the field. There's something you can do or something that you would do, Lethamyr. I don't know if it's get up, shake it off, get water. What are things you can do to take those steps to get yourself back into seeing the entire field?
So I have a thing that I do.
Okay.
And I get out of my chair and I do like 20 jumping jacks. It's not a joke. Like if I ever feel like I'm feeling slow, you Yeah, I just like make my blood pump.
Nice.
And if that's not working and I haven't eaten, you need to make sure you're eating properly. I was talking with Garrett the other day about how much food can really affect how you're feeling that day and how slow you feel in the game. Especially with Rocket League, it's just so intense and fast paced. If you don't eat properly, you're gonna run into some issues with your brain lag. People say like, oh, I heavy carb bug, but it really is just your brain. Like when I stream in the morning, I can feel like I don't eat breakfast a lot, so I feel like a little bit slower. And I don't know if you feel that same way as well, Brody.
It's actually funny because I'm almost the opposite. If I haven't eaten or haven't had coffee or anything, I just feel sharper. I don't know what it is.
Fight or flight.
I think that's what it is. It's that those second winds. Yeah. It doesn't last long until I start needing some food. Your brain doesn't need that sustenance. But I know actually Justin's the same way. Justin at LANs will not eat until his matches are done.
Yeah, that was me with Highland Dancing too. I wouldn't eat anything in the morning until my competition was done. It's pretty bad for you.
To be honest, though, I can see that with Highland Dancing because you're moving around a lot more. You don't really.
I feel sick whenever I would eat. So yeah, that's probably why. But yeah, it was. It's interesting though because I think it was mostly the nerves that would be doing that to me though. Like probably why Justin doesn't eat as well, just because of the nerves. But yeah, I don't know. You just shake it off. I think moving into whoever we play here, which I mean, SONIQS versus Rogue is going down to the wire here. We have SONIQS up 2-1 with 1 minute and 10 left, or 20. It's going to be interesting to see how this squad plays against them because we're now moving into RLCS territory once again. XSET, it's a good win to have on your belt, but we kind of expected it. We kind of said that we were looking to see that, and for them to take it in a 3-1 fashion is good to see.
Well, let's take a look at that lower bracket to see what's going on down here again. Pittsburgh Knights just faced off against XSET. 3-1 win. You'll like to see it. And then down on the other side there, we had the Peeps versus Charlotte Phoenix. That was also a 3-1. And the Peeps moving on to face off against Alpine as they dropped to Space Station Gaming 3-1. So now we have Alpine versus the Peeps. And then the Pittsburgh Knights right now waiting for Rogue versus SONIQS to finish off in their game number 5. As this one is going the distance, and the fact that SONIQS is going up strong against Rogue is going to make. I mean, this is going to be a tough match for the Knights.
But Brody, I think we have something to say to the chat and to Jinx.
Not yet. We're still looking at the bracket. We can't do that yet. We're looking at the bracket. This is why I'm the Lethamyr.
They're anxiously waiting. They're
this
so
is why
excited.
No. We have to go into the flow of it.
All right.
You're messing with my flow here, bro.
I just thought I would throw you a little loop. You know, you gotta be.
I don't like loops in a show, man. It's not no.
All right, we'll be there soon. We'll be there soon. It's people are wanting it in chat. Leaf.
It's not time yet.
Bracket. Let's look at this bracket.
We have a bracket up still. We can't do it, chat. Yeah. You got to chill out, chat.
That's true.
We're waiting now.
You guys are too excited. I'm too excited on behalf of them.
I'm making you guys wait. I'm making chat wait. I'm punishing you, children, for asking
3-1,
for the goodies.
By the way, 3-1 for Peeps. That was a more convincing one than I thought. I thought I was going to go to Game 5. So unfortunately, Charlotte Phoenix are dropped out there. Same with alongside XSET in this Group C and D. The Peeps looking pretty strong. Bring in a Lucian for that team. What do you think he brings to that squad?
No, now I want to talk about it.
Oh, now you want? Okay, you're done. You're done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a giveaway. I am literally a child. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a giveaway. Of course, every single week, HyperX package that we got to give away. And now it is time to announce our winner. As I scroll up here to try to find it again, get a drum roll. Let's get a drum roll in chat, guys. I'm not announcing until we get a drum roll. Let's get the drum rolls in chat. All right, Lethamyr's smacked his desk here. Good drum rolls.
Thank you.
I like to hear it. All right, that was beautiful. I like to see it. Good drum rolls, chat. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this week's HyperX package is going to Twitter user at PC Llama. Congratulations to PC Llama. Can we get some GGs in chat right now? Congratulations. Of course, there'll be more giveaways in the future. But PC Llama is going to be the victor of this one. Knights will be reaching out to you to get that package to yourself. So congratulations. Thanks, everyone, that are entering. Remember, there will be more in the future, so make sure you're following the Knights GG on Twitter at Knights GG, because there are more giveaways coming in the future weeks of the grid, and you can get some more there. So thank you guys for the GGs. Congrats to our winner. Thanks to everyone that participated. I'm just kind of sad, Leth, that we can't win it. I need a new keyboard. I have spilled way too many drinks.
We would have been called rigged in the chat.
If we would.
it's a lose-lose. But I got an extra keyboard here if you want me to send you. We're pretty close. You know, I can drive over.
Yeah, you just
Canada Bros. Yeah, I got a few sitting around. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean a llama's allowed to win? There's no llama shaming here. Dope.
Hey, yeah, we're a llama-friendly community over here. You don't mess with that vibe.
Llamas can be knights too.
But I appreciate you guys all hanging out and watching this channel here. We got some more amazing Rocket League to come. We actually just found out that Rogue took game number 5 for the win, and it was quite an exciting match. If you missed out on it, it went to a full overtime, 2 minutes, and you know Rogue was actually down a goal moving into the overtime, so they equalized and then brought it back. So really hard fought series. We're gonna see some exciting gameplay coming up against Rogue here. What do you expect to see from the Knights coming into this other RLCS team? We haven't really seen them play this team yet, so this squad is going to be matching up against a team. I don't know if they would be a team that they would be scrimming. You know, I don't really know if there's a barrier of entry for these kind of higher up RLCS teams right now, or if they're matching up against everybody. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be hard. This is going to be, especially if you're going to game number 5 against Rogue, a team that's been extremely consistent in these series. So like over the past like weeks and months even, and the fact that SONIQS are starting to step back, we've seen them do that in the grid before, in the RLCS now. So SONIQS is not going to be an easy match.
Yeah, I just realized I was talking about Rogue, but they won. So yes, playing SONIQS.
Rogue won,
my goodness, Leaf, I'm losing it.
That's all right. You know what? I think you need a quick water break, and so do I, and so does chat at refill on their water and their snacks. So we're going to go to a quick break. It's going to be a long one, guys, so please do not be gone. The next match is almost, but we're going to be back in the right place. Twitch.tv/Knights is the place to be as we see them face off against the SONIQS very soon. We'll see you in a few.
This town with the speakers loud and the radio playing old Sublime that we stole online, every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke. Fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with Rome. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. And we turn our music up when he raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. And we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it back to or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care. We'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road. He flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left Don't get left behind on the road. Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. Don't get left behind on the road.
full force.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the grid. You're watching twitch.tv/Knights, or you're watching on Jinx TV, but either way, you're in the right spot and you're watching the right broadcast. Everyone else is broadcasting their matches, but they're not as cool as Lethamyr and I. I'm Leaf alongside Leth, and we're watching the journey of the Knights through grid week number 3, Lethamyr, and they are now on to face off against the SONIQS. Let's just take a quick look at the bracket here while we talk about this before we get into the match. We have Pittsburgh Knights versus SONIQS. They just came through XSET, and they had lost earlier on the upper side, to SPACESTATION Gaming, who won it one of the weeks. So now this is a qualification match here, Lethamyr, and they came close a while ago, or I think it was last week or the week before, but they're now in the spot again.
So they're back once again. Yeah, this is the second time they've been in losers round 2. This was actually the week 1. So it's a similar story to week 1.
Yeah.
We had SPACESTATION, and then Alpine was first week, but now they played XSET, and XSET and Alpine just played each other, and that went to a 3-2 series. So very close matches back and forth. So similar storylines, but we're now moving into this once again, the gatekeeper spot here to move into the qualification. It is the SONIQS, and they're a team to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah. I mean, over the past few weeks, we've seen the SONIQS start to step it back up again now. They brought in J-Russ alongside Shock and Sathyu. I just combined them together into one. They did a fusion,
I mean, they wouldn't mind that, I don't think.
Yeah. Like I said, they get the power of both, plus they get to bring in another player after that, too. But yeah, now the SONIQS facing off against the Pittsburgh Knights, as the Knights, after that break, hope to start the momentum in their favor. But apparently, the SONIQS are starting to come back to power, back to that Season 8 team that we saw them.
I mean, it's going to be tough because SONIQS, they looked pretty dominant in that Rogue series up until the end. And Rogue did sneak out the win. But it's just, it's been interesting to see J-Russ on this new squad and see where he fits in with the team. I think they made a good pick because Dapper is, he used to be a 1v1 player and sort of that controlled position. And J-Russ is very similar in that regard. So I imagine the approach that the Knights are going to have in this series is going to be the same as they would if they were approaching the old SONIQS.
Fair. Now the question is, do they remember how that went? How often have they been playing here? So I guess they're going to have to figure it out on the field if it's been some time. With a minute passed so far, neither one of these teams have scored. We have the SONIQS on the back foot right now. CPS starting to start something up here. He's back into the Dominus. Maybe starting to feel it. We saw his momentum, if you missed it, out of that last series. Started to pick up a lot near the end there against XSET. So now switch over to Dominus. We'll see if that can have further effect on the play here for the side of Pittsburgh Knights.
It's looking pretty clean for the Knights so far in this match. A lot of mistakes actually coming out from the SONIQS on their half. They're making a lot of mistakes on their defense. So a few openings they could find. But Rodoko making a good clear here to keep that consistent rotation. Interesting touch by Sathyu. Will give space for J-Russ, who tries to catch the ball, but knocked out of the way by Kinsei on his way back.
2 minutes gone now, and still no one scored. The Knights seemingly having more, or at least better chances to open the scoring lanes. That's going to be a miss and a goal. As I talk about those better scoring chances, a lane opens up where Doko's going to punish. Sathyu, just unfortunate miss for him, but a fortunate miss for us Knights.
So I think that was actually on J-Russ in that back corner. He tried to get the corner boost and then bring the ball up. He ran out of boost and just plopped the ball into mid for the Knights. So I'm sure we're happy to see that. We'll take those. So we see a pop up for Sathyu. Now a chance for J-Russ on the side. Low boost. Once again, controlling that ball. Like I said, he just goes for those dribbles. It's looking pretty clean. Moving through the series. Goes for the demo. Pop up above the backboard. Caught up by J-Russ again. Once again, the dribble control from him.
Ooh, this is
I don't know if
good.
it's welcomed or not. That's a good chance. There was a lot of space on that backboard.
Yeah, the thing is, Sathyu is out of boost too. Look how Kinsey's moving too now. Him and ZPS are getting the ball so fast. That's going to be an unfortunate touch, though. ZPS did miss that challenge out at mid there.
That wave dash from J-Russ. Just so difficult to check on that extra change of pace. CPS thought he had a convincing win there, or at least a 50-50, but the challenge just goes past. Shot on target, it's so difficult, and Shock finishes it off.
Minutes in, a goal apiece. We're tied up. This is the best of 5 qualification match. The winner of this series will get to move into that single limb bracket. And that's where things start to get super juicy.
Rodoko, really, really good play there to go around the back end of the net and avoid that demo. Some pressure from both teams here. Bless you.
Thank you.
That was cute.
Go manly next time. I will not hold it in.
All right.
Try not to scare all the viewers at home. Shock.
Oh, the
okay.
double chance.
Yeah, that's.
As we're making fun of Liefx's sneeze, we see Shock sneezing on the ball on the left side of the field, and that double tap, top left corner. That's a great shot. Can't discredit, like we said, we can't discredit the opponents. We gotta be humble gamers out here. So Rodoko gets the demo at the start. 2 players bunched up off that spawn. J-Rust lost the ball in a spot where he gives it away, but get 50-50, opens some space once again. Keeping the ball close in the corner. Rodoko, 50-50 in the corner. Once again, another 50-50. Pops it out for Kinsey. Tries to rush it. Doesn't quite get there. Cleared on the field. Shock in the corner. Lurking. A good open shot chance, and Kinsey will find it. That sneak up is a great return, and he will equalize with 40 seconds left.
Not flying out there. I don't know if it added much power, but he definitely got, I think it was a little bit, just had a bit more power off, and that got it out just far enough there for Kinsey. And again, tied up. 40 seconds left in that final minute. We've seen a lot of overtime from the Pittsburgh Knights so far in week number 3 of the grid. Wouldn't be surprised to see it again as they face off against the SONIQS, who went to a Game 5 against Rogue, one of the best teams in North America.
We've also seen the Knights go to a Game 5 against many of these teams as well.
That's true.
So
they tend to keep it
it's going to be
close.
an interesting matchup here. I'm curious to see how this goes. Moving on. Another great touch. Going to pop in mid, and the demo as well.
Oh, yeah.
Bad backboard pop as well.
That probably could have been a better touch, too.
Rodoko will bail him out, but there's still pressure here. I'm sure the Knights probably want to drop this ball down. Rodoko reads that early. Pops downfield, and that will be overtime. So yeah, that place was very dangerous for both teams, and they both agree. You know, a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to a overtime.
Yeah. Knights get it past that last attacker, and it just sits to the ground, and overtime happens. We've seen them finish it in 18 seconds before, and they do it in 15 this time. Kinsey just bodies his way through this one as he takes out the SONIQS.
J-Russ, just unfortunate. He had no boost, but for us, the Knights, on the Knights side, Kinsey's dunk is a great thing to see. We move up on the series 1-0, and once again, this is a best of 5. But a great play. ZPS seems to be changing cars. We'll see if he brings back the Dominus, maybe.
Well, yeah, he was Dominus in this one. He was playing the
the
Octane before.
Yes. Back to Octane.
I wonder because he was starting to ramp up a little bit in that last game, and sometimes that car change. You know, there are differences, but sometimes it's just that placebo effect that you need to kind of reset the mind to say, hey, I'm going to play in a different car, get myself fresh on the field. And I think I was playing better with the Octane. And that little bit of confidence might just let you get some of those touches or be a little bit faster than your opponents are. And those little differences can cause, the difference in a game.
And they did win this match, so it's good to see that they're feeling confident. He's going to switch back, or maybe he just change his car design. We'll never know. Or just trying to mess with the heads of the SONIQS players. We'll see what goes on in this next match as we see the pressure was pretty good for both teams. It's back and forth, but at the same time, some great shots from the Knights. It's looking really consistent up the field.
Well, now we have game number 2. The Sonics versus Pittsburgh Knights. In this best of 5, the Knights take game number 1 against the Sonics. As Kinsey dunks one home, sending a message. Sonics trying to get an early start, not happy with the result of that last one, but the Knights shutting this one down early. Take control, but that ball just goes straight back into the hands of the Sonics as they take a shot. Far right, it's wide. Attack's not done yet. They have to be careful with their boost now. Pittsburgh Knights, you can see them camping on the boost over there. You know they're low right now, and this pressure could mount into a goal for their opponents, the Sonics. If they're not careful, finally the boost. And they'll try to turn this one past midfield.
Gogo with space, gets knocked off the ball, but J-Rust collects it. Matthew takes it away from him. A pop-up from ZPS gives some space for J-Rust to collect once again. A player that seems to be very consistent with his approach on the ball. J-Rust pops it downfield. Demo from Matthew, getting really aggressive and in the face of the players on the Knights. Shock to pop it to the side. Leaves it for his teammate, but there's no one there, and oh my goodness, that could have been such a bad opportunity, or a good opportunity for the Knights. Shock.
You say yeah, you say bad though, because like you don't really want to see that from any players, right?
Yeah.
And somehow this turns around.
I don't even know, man. I'm lost for words because Shock just assumed someone was there and he was getting bullied. Whoever that was getting bullied in midfield, but they do get a goal for it. I have no idea what I just witnessed.
Yeah, that was a little bit crazy on the side of the Sonics there. You thought maybe the Pittsburgh Knights would be getting a goal as a result, and it rolls along the goal line. And then Shock takes it away. I was about to say before, Shock was looking like he's speeding up right now. He's looking pretty fast on the field. And then they almost let one in, though, so I didn't say it, but then he brings it right back and turns it around.
Matthew with a dunk. Shock waiting for this opportunity. Gets bumped off the play. J-Rust with space. Tries to go for the dunk off that backflip, but good chance here as ZPS finishes it off from the pass from Rodoko off the left corner and catching Sonics off guard in these awkward positions.
What a pass down to ZPS, though. Beautiful. This is what we talked about before. Getting those passes out to center, obviously that was a little more towards the net, so he probably just kind of threw it there, but a good finish up by ZPS. I'd like to see a bit more of that. Almost. Momentum carried it was by Sonics off the kickoff. And that goal was quickly taken away. The tie game now a lead for the Sonics.
So a good kickoff goal for the Sonics. The great shot from Shock to start it off. And then obviously the pinch out from Kinsey. Tried to follow up from Rodoko, but at that point it's an open net for Sathu. And he will finish it off. So back in the lead are the Sonics. But the Knights are still up in this series. If we can extend it to match point, that would be a great start.
2.5 minutes left. That's a long time to get one goal back, even to go in overtime, because you know that this will likely end in an overtime.
Oh, for sure. We'll have to see what happens here. But we're no strangers to overtimes on this channel. It's a good bump. Rodoko passed it across. Through the late 50-50 works out. CPS tries to clear. Rodoko with the backflip too. The double touch off the backboard. I don't think that was expected by any player on the field. No one was ready for that next pass.
That's why the play just died right there.
J-Rust getting really physical too. Good chance. Double opportunity. J-Rust with the backboard touch and the follow-up was a great showing of mechanics.
Yeah, there's
for the Knights.
Not much you can do right here. I mean, I feel like they're starting to struggle on boost. They were caught inside of the net there, and it was just an awkward spot defensively right now, especially once Shock got that ball up off the sidewall and was able to maintain control. You knew that a pass was coming out. Probably should have been intercepted, but again, if low boost, there's not much you can do but watch until that play comes out and just try to cut down your angle.
Oh, that was a good chance. DPS with the perfect pass in midfield. Both of his players committed. They tried to fit that opening, but just didn't quite work out. That miss from Sathi will actually open up some space for Shock. And JRS with that clear. Cuts off early by Rodoko. Such close chances here. With 1 minute left, we got to see better shot selection. As we see, there we go. There's a good pass by Kinsey to the left side, and ZPS will close up the gap.
ZPS trying to put on his backpack right now. Beautiful passing plays. We talked about it so much. Lethamyr. We want to see those passing plays. And look what happens when they come out. 2 of their goals now have been scored as a result of these passing plays. If we can see some more of those, we might see even this game be brought back in a match point. 50 seconds left. The possibility is still there. The overtime chance is still there. But they need to be careful on defense here because they are low boost.
JRS pushed up pretty far. Go for the double off the sidewall. Offset mid. Now JRS going for that demo upfield too, so really aggressive positioning. Sathi's probably going to try and bring this backfield for his team.
Okay,
He's going for a very ambitious dunk there.
This is what I think we need, though. I mean, ZPS is starting to feel it right now. As long as he can keep getting that close and he's got teammates to back him up, this might be a quick shift in momentum now for the Pittsburgh Knights. With 8 seconds left, though, they're going to have to maintain possession here if they want another chance. It's still there. This ball doesn't touch the ground. At 0 seconds, they'll stay up, but it won't. The SONIQS will take game number 2, putting us at 1-1 in this best of 5. This is, a reminder, a qualification match for both these teams to get into that final bracket, to get into that top 8. And that's where you start getting closer to the money.
Now Leaf, does the qualification, do they reseed for the top 8? I'm not actually sure.
It's a good question. Liquipedia doesn't have it, which means I don't know.
Okay, there you go. So
Liquipedia is my brain.
I would imagine it's probably a seeding based on points so far in the league. I'm not really sure.
That would make a lot of sense. We need to bring Gibbs on, though.
Yeah, this is where we need Gibbs to bring his analyst role. But
I can't believe I'm saying I need Gibbs, but I need Gibbs.
You have a shrine of Gibbs, I'd like to mention. I saw that.
Nobody needs to know. I actually, I gotta say, I actually had it with the candles lit in the RLCS. I think only like 3 people on Reddit caught it. It was in the background. Right? It was right there.
Oh man,
it was right there, and
so funny.
Someone thought it was actually Lawler at one point. I actually do have sense. I do have a framed picture of Lawler, but it's actually at the squad offices.
As we go into this next game,
yeah.
We are 1-1 in the series. It's been back and forth. Like I keep saying, back and forth. That's literally the story of the night so far. Is just you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates.
Okay.
I hate that I just said that.
Yeah, great. You know what? That's clever. Someone should write that down. You might even be able to make a movie around that.
Yeah, you might be able to put that in the movie as like one of the main first talking points.
Yeah, we should work on this. We'll talk to you after.
All right.
All right. Right now, we got to focus on the Knights as we end to game number 3. 1-1, as I mentioned before. This is a qualification match. Winner of this will put themselves at match point, forcing the other team to win, too, if they want to go into that final top 8 bracket. Try to get themselves that much closer to the money. Only top 4 are paid out with this $10,000 each week. But points are also an important thing to gather here for the grid.
For Sathi, going for the bump, leaving it for Shock, and that's a good play. Such a difficult position for the defender. Kinsey tries to go for the dunk, and then Rodoko, and then ZPS is just left in the dust. Tries to go for the dunk, but so many angles to cover, especially with the player coming in for the demo as well.
Yeah, Shock just sat on that one. And sometimes all you need to do is sit on it, and it'll go in.
Rock League 101 from Liefx.
I'm giving them
sit on the ball.
Give great advice to all the ranked players out there.
Quick transition to the Shock. Tries to go for that chip for himself. Chalk will get the demo consolation goal. I mean, consolation in the mid as well. We're trying to get that midfield boost. J-Rust into Shock. A little bit of a miscommunication. Rodoko will have space here. Goes for the boom. J-Rust trying to pop the ball to Sathu. Late touch. Can't reach it. That play will be killed.
Now a chance for Kinsey, though. He gets that up a little bit late. ZPS to follow that one up. Kinsey trying to get in the way, and he actually gets a touch on that one. And credit for that shot that I thought was going to ZPS, and we're tied up.
And it was intentional. I thought he was bumped or something, but he actually jumped up early, trying to get in the way of the ball. That's a great shot to pop the top left corner. There's no way a SONIQS player could react or expect that shot to come in, and they end up equalizing here.
Kinsey tries a solo play that ends up back down in their own end. Shot. Stopped. Follow up. Not there either. The SONIQS got slowed down a little bit. It's not over yet, though. J-Rust with a bounce shot. That's going to pop into the net. The SONIQS, with 3 minutes left, are going to put themselves into the lead.
Choice on that shot as well. The dunk across from Chalk just opened up that opportunity. Unfortunately, the Knights just couldn't react in time. So these 50-50s in the corner are looking pretty poor. We need to make sure we don't let these dunks come across and put us in difficult situations if the bump comes through. But Shock just does not want to bite. It's just too difficult of a position to determine if it's free to go for, especially when you're up a goal. You don't need to force anything. The Kinsey with some space.
What a bump! ZPS, and it's gonna go in.
It still goes in. Oh my goodness!
Beautiful pass out. A miss there from the defender. He gets bumped, as you said, but he just gets enough on it. Kinsey tried to secure that one, but no goal for you. That ZPS is 2.5 minutes. We're all tied up.
Hart can't take it. I was gonna say, got some more casting.
Well, I was gonna have to. Yeah. You have to. That's about curse some team, bless them up.
Space gets the dribble, chance to shoot. J-Rust to attack really quickly. CPS getting it in the hands of J-Rust, bumping him around.
What? Used to have juggling stat in Rocket League. He could have one off a car.
That rolled the tongue real nice.
Juggling J-Rust. Juggling J-Rust. Sounds like a sitcom.
It's a good dunk by Rodoko to get that early clear, but J-Rust will try to return. Shock with the space in the corner, gets the full boost. Falls two touches. 3. J-Rust trying to go for that early dunk. That late 50-50 or miss actually gives some space for Stathy for the shot. You gotta love Rocket League. Sometimes the mistakes are your best option. Or the whiff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, it comes down to what you expect from your opponents, and if they don't do that, you know, expect something else.
Like the Street Fighter games, you know, when you have, like, the championship winner faces off a noob player, and they end up losing to them because they're just not sidestepping or blocking or anything. So that's a good bump.
Yeah, it's a different style of play. It's definitely something that you will have to adapt to. Almost a rule 1 there. J-Rust is going to break it, which means that this is going to be a goal for the Pittsburgh Knights. That's just the way it works.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah. I open up the fortune cookie, and that's what I see. It's going to be a quick. It's going to go to overtime. But then we're going to see it quickly. You know, within the 15 seconds mark, we're going to see a quick goal by the Knights.
I like the prediction. It's in now. It has been foretold. 10 seconds left.
If it's the opposite, please don't fire me. Just
yeah, if it's the opposite, we're actually just going to delete the VOD.
Yeah, it never happened. We'll disconnect the Ethernet cable and we're going to move on.
I didn't see it. Actually, chance. Can Kinsey get to that? No.
Kinsey was 0 boost, unfortunately, but a good chance on the kickoff, so see what happens in the first 15 seconds.
I also like... Yo, it's going to be... No. Oh, no. Get it.
That's okay. Rodoko with the dunk, but we can save the ball. Sethy catching in the corner. Boost steals looming for the Knights, leaving that ball for Rodoko. Awkward aerial.
Awkward touch, yeah.
Ooh, passing across.
I like to see how they're holding out barely. It's a little scraggly right now. They just need to keep going, keep their head in the game, keep that flow. Stop thinking. Just hit ball. That's all you need to do to be good at Rocket League.
From the words of Arsenal himself from the last matchup, the first matchup of the day. See ball, and net. That's all you need to know.
I think that's Speed's play style as well, isn't it?
I'm very well aware.
1 minute into overtime now. This is for qualification and match point. The winner of this, whoever scores this goal, will sit at match point. The series is not over, but of course you want match point. A little more breathing room to deal with. There's the shot. No, that goes super wide. ZPS takes the ball. He tries to get that center instead of taking boost, so he'll be out of the play for a little bit here. A dunk will buy time. A bump as well, but Sathu turns around and takes Rodoko off the field. Kinsey alone has to deal with J-Russ. To the side. Shot by Sathu, saved by Rodoko on the goal line. Now a low boost for the Sonics. We'll see if the Knights can get this one out of their own field. Rodoko, hard clear. Kinsey to set it towards the net. The fake, and that's in! Rodoko puts it away, and Les' prediction comes true. The Knights at match point.
You know, I said it was going to be quick, but it was not quick, but we got the win. That's all that matters. And so, unfortunately, Sathy couldn't get back in time. He was on the sidewall trying to recover, and there we go. We're up 2-1 in the series. Great look for the Knights so far in this bracket.
That all comes down to breaking that headlock. You break a headlock, you get punished.
Honestly, I'm just excited because I didn't get fired, so.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing, too, is that the Knights account was blaming you instantly, even though I was the one to say it first. So the curse would have come from me. Maybe because we both said it was
bro. It's always on me,
yeah,
bro.
it just goes to you. It's like you're the Gibbs of the Knights broadcast now, because no matter what's said, whether it's good or bad, the casters are always like, I remember Gibbs said on the desk. Gibbs was like, I didn't say that. That was someone else. But I'll take it.
It's unfortunate, but you know, I believe in the boys here. I think we're gonna be fine. No matter what I say, we're gonna win this one out. So, I mean, yet again, you could say that that's me saying that. So, yeah. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of worried now. But at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we have Pittsburgh Knights versus the Sonics going into before. The Pittsburgh Knights are currently up 2-1 series. We qualified time, and we fell short in the past weeks, week 1 and 2. Week 3 could be their chance. They need your energy now. Give it to them in the chat as they face off against the Sonics. Game number 4, qualification for that final bracket.
Been really, really good play by the Knights. Really cleaning up in this series. These close push-ups by Sonics, putting them in a tough situation. Knights keep taking advantage.
30 seconds in. Good slow play from Kinsey. He didn't throw it straight into an opponent. He saw ZPS was over there and tried to connect with him. That's that team awareness I was talking about before, and we've seen a lot more of it by the end of last series and throughout this series here. They should have control. Dunk again. And they should be on the attack here. If they can just maintain control, but no. Sonics are going to break through.
Pass out mid. Good defense, like Kinsey, waiting on that backside, back post.
First minute in, no goals. Satsu falling from the sky is going to hand that one away. That's a long shot, and that's going to make it into the net. And we got a goal for Kinsey as the Knights put themselves on the board first.
Great clear. Once again, this team's very similar to what we saw against XSET as well. The open clears, super aggressive playstyle from Sonics, just not working out for them. And they will be up in this game. So this is match point for the Knights. 3.5 minutes left. Still lots of time left in this game. Good demo by SONIQS.
They're getting physical right now. Rudoko's trying to fight back. Saying, back off, bro. We're trying to win out here.
Great read by ZPS to block that out. Continues the clear down too. Puts them in a tough situation. SONIQS clear the ball mid. Sathu clear across. Chance to mid. Awkward touch. Leave some space.
Pittsburgh Knights
Sathu
trying to hold on to this lead.
Yes, it's been a minute of gameplay so far, which is good to see.
They've hold it off, yeah.
Pressure.
2.5 minutes now approaching. Attack from Sathu. It's going to be taken over by Shock out center, off the post. Counterattack chance, no dunk. And that's going to stay out. On the goal
Great
line again.
defense.
And the Knights counting their lucky stars on that one.
Good chance in mid. Popped out by SONIQS. Now space for Kinsey on the left side. With that late dunk. Bit of a miss. Pops the cross. Space. Pops out from Rodoko, back corner, waiting for a chance to show up. Sathu will collect the ball in mid. Rodoko, there he is with 100 boost. Goes over the dunk, but a pass across. Awkward play. As they race back to this ball.
Pulling off a lot of offense right now from the SONIQS. I'm surprised that this hasn't been tied up yet. As the Pittsburgh Knights been put on the back foot. But I mean, we did see that in week number 1. They spent a lot of time on defense, but they held off pretty well. So they know what it's like to be under pressure like this. With that final minute now approaching, 1 goal up, all they have to do is hold off an attack from the SONIQS. They don't need to overcommit, but another goal would be nice. As the Knights looking to qualify for the top 8 of week number 3 of the grid.
Okay, with the big clear. Leaves the space. J-Russ cut it off. Possible pass across, but read out really well by ZPS. Just great defense in midfield. Seconds, last-ditch effort for the SONIQS, or else they are eliminated from the bracket today. Just super awkward touches everywhere for the Knights right now, putting them in under pressure, forcing them to think about where they're going to position.
There's the good touch from CPS. Oh, no post! Oh my he almost gets bumped into the save. If he had held his handbrake, but you don't expect to get bumped, but if he had held it, there was a chance, but almost a chance. Shock ties this up at the last second. Rodoko reaching for that one, and he couldn't get it. Tied up with 10 seconds left. I can't believe it.
The Knights are telling us to stop talking. I guess we're done for the day. No way!
Are you kidding me?
No way, that just happened. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
We're actually done.
All right, thank you guys for watching.
I'm leaving the call.
Enjoy the broadcast, and yeah, this is
yeah, it was great.
The replay stream
thanks
today.
For tuning in, and then wow, 0 seconds left. They still have a chance to get this one, but otherwise they're going to go to game number 5. They were at match point. They held on to that goal for so long, ladies and gentlemen. The entire game, they had the lead, and it falls apart in those final 30 seconds. As Shock sets off the first goal, and then off that next kickoff, the momentum just shifts into the favor of the SONIQS and Sathu to get a second to put him into the lead.
I cannot believe what we just witnessed, Brody.
I know. How often is it you get that many goals in a row and that late into the game?
Like, we were sitting at 1 goal apiece for 3.5 minutes, or 1 goal for the Knights, And then for that bump play to come in the last 10 seconds, it just you hate to see it.
Yeah,
The story
you hate
continues
to see it.
It just continues to be that way. So we do go into game number 5. I wouldn't say arch nemesis, but we see it too often that we don't want to see it anymore. That was rough.
Well,
that was rough to watch.
That's the thing is last week again. You mentioned we had version 1. We had NRG going into game number 5. The Knights know how to keep it close, but again, this is a little bit too close. You have the lead for the whole time, and just that unbelievable turn of events at the end there. And now we're heading into game number 5, where it's a little bit less comfortable for the Knights. Now, you could have had it done, but now everything's on the line. You lose this, you're out of the tournament. That last one, sure, you lose it, you go to game 5, but you want to avoid that, and they almost avoided it. But now SONIQS looking to make this push through. This is a SONIQS that is looking speedier and speedier as we go. I think there's still mistakes coming up from the SONIQS that are punishable by the Knights, but they need to make sure they do not. Yeah, they do not get hesitant.
Yeah, there's been a lot of errors on the side of SONIQS that maybe they clean up a little bit more of that game, but it was looking so convincing for the Knights for such a long time in that game that they just kind of ran away with it at the last second. So yeah. I think if they hold their game plan strong here, solid, they seem to have the SONIQS numbers. So it's all up to the Knights now. It's last game of the day for qualification to move on to the rest of the bracket for today's broadcast. But I don't know, man. Like it's scary because they had such a good game plan, but then for it to fall apart so easily at the very end is rough.
I mean, that's the thing is, especially when the nerves were going by the end of that series, right? You know that the nerves were starting to click in. Like, guys, we're about to hit top 8, and even that little bit of subconscious stress there can cause you to be a little bit more hesitant. Can cause you to maybe make a touch that was a little off because you start overthinking things. And I think sometimes the best Rocket League is played like not thinking, but sometimes you just need to do. And that's what we've seen the Knights play the best is when they're just doing, when ZPS is going as fast as possible, where Doko's crushing that offense and just plowing himself through there. But when you start to hesitate, you end up on defense a lot, and eventually a crack is going to show. So this is not the spot the Knights wanted to be in, but it's still doable. As you mentioned, lots of mistakes still from the SONIQS. Game number 5, Pittsburgh Knights versus the SONIQS. Who will be that final team joining all the rest in the bracket? The Peeps, Rogue, Space Station, G2, Envy, NRG, and Kansas City Pioneers. Am I seeing that right, by the way? I just looked at the bracket now.
I believe so, yeah.
They took out G2 3-0. Wow.
That is incredible.
Let's see if the Knights can join the elite in the top 8. Best of 5, game number 5. SONIQS versus the Knights. And now 30 seconds in. An early attack here. Coming up from the SONIQS. Turn around. That's going to be a chance for the Knights. Trying to get an attack. Shock clears that away. Rodoko trying to force his way through like I was talking about during that break there.
Now an awkward ball in mid. Sathy with the space of the dribble. Early challenge by Rodoko puts Kinsei on the back foot. Shock to fake in the back corner. J-Rush with a bit of a miss, but still on the ball. 2 players taken out, so now 1 player at the back end. Tough situation for the Knights, but they do clear it out nicely. Shock 0 boost. Awkward play in mid. A challenge from Sathy. Very awkward play, very big risk, but no goal was coming. No goal came out of that one. That was a bit scary for all players involved. Great shot to the top right corner. Unfortunately, Shock will get the first goal of this game. A minute and a half in. We saw the similar story for the Knights last game. Hopefully the Knights can bring it back 2 goals up.
Yeah, that 50-50 was not ideal for the Knights. Such an awkward spot for the last defender. I forgot who was caught there, but when you're low boost and a ball's flying towards your net like that, Shock has free reign on the net. Where do you go? Where do you position? Because he's going to put that one in a spot that's going to be very difficult to reach. And That's exactly what happened here. As the Knights try to counter it, follow up from ZPS. And that's going to be a goal right off the kickoff. 10 seconds passed. And the Knights pull it back.
Would like to see actually an awkward play. Shock bumps Sathiu into the back corner and unfortunately forces the own goal. I think Shock could have probably had it if he didn't bump his teammate, but we'll take it. We take those. We're going to keep going with that storyline. I'm telling you, we just keep taking everything.
Today's been all about you hate to see and we take those. It ain't stopping here. That's a shot, though. Saved on the goal line by Kinsey. He'll get taken out by J. Russ. That's going to be a solo play from Shock. He can't finish it off. Counterattack. ZPS.
Ball off the sides. Sathiu trying for it. Pops up the sidewall. And a pinch shot. Oh my goodness, that must have been like 150. 156.
Oh, it was close. 156.
Oh my goodness.
That was a banger.
Off Kinsey's pinch clear. Tried to get it across before Shock could get access to the ball, but unfortunately it does drop right in front. There's no saving that one. You hate to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
It never ends, man. I think we're in the Twilight Zone right now.
Yeah. 2.5 minutes in, goal lead by the Sonics.
Great triple touch.
Forcing Pittsburgh Knights back to their own end. Awkward positioning from Kinsey. He's just going to leave that one for ZPS. He'll clear that one out himself. Grabs the boost. Let's see if they can keep the midfield. Nope, that clears hard back in. And a drop down almost to J. Russ as he tries to clean up that pass from Shock. This is getting a little bit dangerous now. The Sonics are starting to connect with a lot of these passes.
Yeah, the Knights have to be careful. They got to be ready for every touch. That's a good pass in the midfield. Shock reads it out though. Double touch opportunity. Sathiu pops it down. Great defense by Rodoko. CPS and Rodoko both in awkward positions. Good communication. I like that call. But Sathiu does disrupt the play, or Shock disrupts the play there.
Yeah, that touch on ZPS there really killed that play and allowed Sonics to sit in a little bit longer. So just very unfortunate. They'll be able to try it again though, taking one by one.
Oh, the double team clear.
I think Rodogo's going for the post, but that actually might have been in. So, or whoever was there put it on the net. That might have been in.
Oh, J-Russ just gets back in time. ZBS had a chance at net. J-Russ missing. Great. Oh my goodness, what a save from Shock. That was a great shot from Rodoko too. Great placement, good choice of shots. So Sonic's on the back end right now. So lots of pressure for the Knights. A good chance to bring it back in. Shot on target. ZBS to clear. Rodoko tries to pinch it across. This is back and forth. 49 seconds left. Tournament life on the line for both teams here.
Yeah. 43 seconds left, and Sonics holding up. The Knights trying to catch up right now. Stuck on defense. We've seen this before. Both teams are starting to play extremely fast.
The aggression really coming in. You see these clears back and forth. 2v1 opportunity. Spread out quickly by Sathiu. Low boost in mid. Trying to pick up some pads. J-Russ to continue down the field. Gets the flippy set.
He does. That's going to be ZPS. ZPS all over the field right now, but he needs to be all over that ball. Because he's playing speedy right now. He has a lot of good moves, but this might be that final drive and that possession out of the hands of the Knights. Low boost. This is going to be a struggle trying to find something. Chance there. Shot just wide. Follow up from ZPS.
Oh my gosh.
And it was in, but the time is up, and it hits the floor. The Sonics will move through. The Knights, their hands must be on their head like they are on mine. It was so close. Everybody get a knot like this in chat because, oh man, you hate to see it.
The shot there, the opening, the whole left side of the net, and he couldn't get it off the ground. One more second on the clock. That is all that was needed, and unfortunately, he couldn't make the shot count. But oh my goodness, that was a crazy series. You know, we're like we said, we're no strangers to game fives, but unfortunately, the Knights for today are knocked out of this day, week number 3 of the Grid North America. Great fight. I'm seeing constant improvement every week from this team. Coming up against these RLCS level teams from, well, whatever you want to call it, top league. It's just been great to see the improvement. I'm sure they've learned a lot from today's matches, and I'm just heartbroken to see that final shot just not go in. But
one more second. You're right. Literally one more second is all it took for that to go into the net there. That was such a nail-biting series all around. I mean, like, you have the Knights sitting at match point out of game 3 there into game 4. It gets pulled back within the last 30 seconds, basically, by the SONIQS. All of a sudden, the Knights were up by 1-0 for the entirety of that game, and it gets pulled back with 2 goals with Shock and Sathu plowing them home, one off a kickoff there. And then all of a sudden, coming into this game, you get it tied most of the way. SONIQS up by 1, and then that last-second shot, it couldn't have been closer, man. What a qualification match here. And again, you hate to see it. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's really been the story. Like it is unfortunate, but to be that close, to be on the cusp of such great performance and results, they're going to be hungry for it next week, moving into week number 4. So unfortunately, they are knocked out, but we're not sleeping on them because they're looking better and better every week. So people were predicting at the beginning of this stream here that they're looking like an RLCS winner at some point and at times here. So if they can keep the consistencies up and become that solid squad that we know they can be, I'm expecting some good things in the future.
And just a shout out, if you guys are watching on twitch.tv/Knights, you saw too, ZPS comes into the chat here and says it's heartbreaking, and it is nothing but that. If we can get some Bible thumps and some love out for the team, because they put on a show today. They made sure that twitch.tv/Knights was the right place to be, because man, that was close. So close. We've seen them closer and closer every week now. Lethamyr, I feel like that breakthrough, you mentioned it too, before this whole grid even started, that this was a team that's going to slowly get better and better over this grid, and we've seen that now, literally 1 goal away from making it into that final bracket. And we're only into week number 3 now. There's a lot of potential moving forward.
I'm saying every week they seem to improve quite substantially too. So it's not like small little improvements. I'm seeing just a great rotation, change in pressure. They move around as a unit more. So when you see, they know when the play's dead, so they all move back together. And it seems to be working out really well for them. So hopefully moving down the line, they start to become even more of a threat against these teams. You can see making some RLCS teams sweat a little bit moving into these series, so that's exciting to see.
Well, before we head out, I just want to just re-look over the day today, what we expect next week, get some final thoughts, and then also want to give a shout out again to HyperX for that giveaway. There's a giveaway every week. Get a swag pack from HyperX, some equipment to up your game. Make sure you guys head over to twitter.com/KnightsGG. They're doing giveaways there over time, so pay attention to that. For those giveaway tweets, make sure you're following those well so you don't miss it. Make sure those notifications are turned on. But also, shout outs to everyone watching on Jinx TV and everyone watching on Twitch TV/Knights. But let's look over the just the day today. What did we see? What did we feel about the team? And moving forward, what do you want to see next week?
So we saw a bit of a similar performance from the Space Station match from the first time they played them. So I didn't see too much of an improvement there, but I think that it was a bit of a warm-up match for them. Moving into the bottom bracket against XSET, not the most convincing win, but at the same time it was a bit of a warm-up once again. They were starting to rev up a little bit throughout the day, winning that game 3-1. So they lost 3-1 to Space Station and then won against XSET 3-1. And then this final match going to game 5 all the way to the distance. It's to be expected at this point, but I just like the pressure game they have. They seem to be finding each other in midfield, finding those open passes, like we talked about earlier on in the day, how they were doing more solo plays. They started to open up a little bit and have trust in each other, and really push on the field and become more of a unit. So that's why I'm talking about. I'm really excited to see how they incorporate that a little bit more into their arsenal as they go forward. But it's just been really great Rocket League all together today.
That's the thing, and there's lots more to come. We're only in week 3, and we'll be starting, of course, week 4 next week of the grid, and we'll be watching the the Knights, the Pittsburgh Knights play, this is the place to be. Twitch.tv/Knights. Make sure you guys are following. Again, notifications turn on. Same with Twitter.com/KnightsGG. That's the place to be for Knights action and all their games. We'll see if they can break through finally to that top 8 next week. But on behalf of Lethamyr and myself, thank you guys so much for watching. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. But we're done for the day, as the Knights are as well. We'll see what they can do next week. So we'll see you then.